Ugh. What's happening, man? What's happening, man? Oh, let me see something. The language is broken into a slang, but it's just the dialect that I select when I hang. Ugh. Ugh. We in this bitch. What's up, man? How am I feeling, man? Hey, man. A skunk just fucking. I don't know if a skunk. I don't know what the hell that skunk did. Did he skunk a dinosaur or an elephant? But a skunk just skunked something around my house. And I'm telling you, Jack, skunks are real, man. It's no myth, man. Skunks are real, man. That shit has permeated every aspect. That shit is like the whole fucking house smells like skunk. So, yeah, man. It's all good, though. It's all good, baby, baby. What the fuck? Yeah, man, that skunk. That skunk did his thing, man. Usually, when I smell the skunk, it's more faint, as if like the skunk something in somebody down the street, or he skunked something, you know, a couple blocks away. This time, it feel like that skunk skunked something on my doorstep, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. He must have skunked something on the doorstep. That shit stink like hell, man. Um, but shout out to that skunk, man. He probably had to do what he had to do, man. Uh, a son raccoon, a raccoon ran up on him. He had to let that raccoon know what time it was. A son raccoon tried to carjack him. I ain't mad at that skunk, man. That skunk was defending himself, man. Salute, man. What am I doing? Oh yeah. Mm, mm. Okay, gliders, man. We about to teach y'all why it's y'all fault the hood look like it does, man. Everyone hit one if you knew that it was gliders' fault that the hood looks the way it does, man. Hit one if you knew that. Hit two if you were unaware of that. Okay. Wow, Seminole Wind didn't know, man. Wow. Well, let me break it. Let me let this glider. This glider's gonna break it down to you why all the problems in the hood are actually white people's fault.
I bought a house in a neighborhood that is predominantly black. I bought my house 7 years ago for $47.50 per square foot, which is pretty close to half of what it would cost to build a home the same size. So why was it so cheap? There was one land prospector that bought up properties. He bought up thousands of properties. He left these buildings abandoned and intentionally let them get run down so that the whole neighborhood looks terrible. That land prospector drove the housing prices into the ground because if he can own a large enough area, he can get the city to eminent domain it and pay him for those properties. That one land prospector owned most of the properties in this area, and the city eminent domained it. They paid him for those properties, and they tore down all of the houses, forced everybody else out. And I always hear people say, well, why can't black people take care of their neighborhoods? But what they don't know is that most of those properties all belong to the same white guy. I bought a house in a neighborhood that is predominantly black. I bought my house 7 years ago for $47.50 per square foot, which is pretty close to half of what it would cost to build a home the same size. So why was it so cheap? There was one land prospector that bought up properties. He bought up thousands of properties. He left these buildings abandoned and intentionally let them get run down so that the whole neighborhood looks terrible. That land prospector drove the housing prices into the ground because if he can own a large enough area, he can get the city to eminent domain it and pay him for those properties. That one land prospector owned most of the properties in this area, and the city eminent domained it. They paid him for those properties, and they tore down all of the houses, forced everybody else out. And I always hear people say, well, why can't black people take care of their neighborhoods? But what they don't know is that most of those properties all belong to the same white guy.
All right, you got it, gliders? Because I want to make sure you guys got it. Press one if you got it. All the problems in the hood are your fault. Because I'm taking you gliders to class, man. Oh yeah, let me do an update on the story we previously did.
Stumped.
This is a story we previously did. I'm sure many of y'all remember the story where the guy, the black guy down in Texas, stole the monkeys. He literally stole the monkeys from the zoo. I mean, we covered it one day on one of the episodes. Maybe you guys might have missed it. But there was this black guy, young black guy in Texas, stealing a bunch of animals from the zoo. And he got caught. But now some gliders are in trouble for reporting it. So here we go.
Earlier this week, when two monkeys from the Dallas Zoo disappeared. But there is good news. The Emperor Tamarin monkeys were on that obviously is not a picture that we expected up there. We have
that's the guy who stole the monkeys. But everything's so woke that the news anchor had a panic attack when he said monkey and a black guy showed up on the screen. That's the guy who stole the monkeys. Watch this news anchor have a fucking meltdown because he's afraid he's going to lose his job. He's afraid he's going to lose his fucking job.
stumped earlier this week when two monkeys from the Dallas Zoo disappeared. But there is good news. The emperor tamarin monkeys were that obviously is not a picture that we expected up there. We have a zoo story we're telling here. And apparently these monkeys vanished from the zoo. And now the suspected thief has also been found. Police say 24-year-old. We're going to step out of this story right now. And Matt Brode, we're going to talk about the stumped earlier this week when two monkeys from the Dallas Zoo disappeared. But there is good news. The emperor tamarin monkeys were that obviously is not a picture that we expected up there. We have a zoo story we're telling here. And apparently these monkeys vanished from the zoo. And now the suspected thief has also been found. Police say 24-year-old. We're going to step out of this story right now. And Matt Brode, we're going to talk about the stumped earlier.
In this nakedly racist country, you can't even use the word monkey. You can't even use the word monkey with a black.
I never really noticed casual.
With a black person's face on the screen, even if they're the ones who stole the fucking monkey.
Every white.
This is James. This is James Baldwin, man. He loved him some White D, man. He loved some White D, boy. He loved White D more than what's that other comedian? Paul Mooney. I don't know who loved White D more, Paul Mooney or James Baldwin. Chat, who you think loved White D more? Which one you think loved White D more? Paul Mooney or James Baldwin? He said Don Lemon. I don't know. Don's a beginner, man. Don be settling down, man. These other guys, they was hopping around, man. James Baldwin loves some White D. Let's hear what he thinks, though. Let's see what James Baldwin has to say about white people, man, publicly, man. Not in the bed where he only slept with white men, but let's see how he talks about white people publicly.
Every white person in this country, I do not care what he says or she says, knows one thing. They may not know, as they put it, what I want, but they know they would not like to be black here. If they know that, they know everything they need to know. And whatever else they say is a lie.
All right. Just getting you guys started, man.
Before the Super Bowl.
Just getting you guys started with a little bit of
Before.
Because, I mean, we want to get into this situation with this idiot woman who let this goddamn sun man in the gym. She's She in the gym by herself, and she let this goddamn Sunman in. Sunman didn't have a key fob or nothing, and she just let him in. We gonna spend some time on that, man. But I just want to warm it up, man, because I want to show you guys what leads to that, what leads to people making these dumb decisions, man. That woman's a fucking moron. Let me drop the link, man. I have some of you guys come up, man. Let me drop the link, man. Let me drop the link. Oh, oh. I think I'm gonna drop it. Drop the link. Let's see, man. Let me drop this link, man. Let me not forget to put it in the. Let me not forget to put it in the in the back chat, man. I mean in the live stream in the description box, man. I don't want to forget that. Scorpion Squad, man. How was your first day, Scorpion Squad? Well, did you catch any bodies, man? Did you run into any Tyrees, man? I want to know from the Scorpion Squad, man. Did you guys catch any bodies last night? Did you catch any skaters? Did y'all catch any skaters last night, man? I need to know from my Scorpion Squad, man. Did y'all catch any skaters last night? What's going on, AP?
Hey, what's up? Better connection
Hey,
tonight.
Oh, okay. Hopefully, man. I mean, the people be very upset when your connection isn't good, man. We we need to go to Best Buy and get that handled, but we'll see, man. I don't trust you. I don't trust you because I gotta see, man. What's up, Calix Rose?
What's up, man?
How's everything, man? Calix Rose been around for how many years? You been around for? What, 5 years, 6 years, something like that? Calix Rose been around for a long time, man. What's up? On Out the Socket TV.
What's up?
What's happening, man? What's up?
What up, man?
I'm not. I don't know you. Who are you?
Man, I be checking out the content, and I just wanted to, I'm here for the next story.
Oh, so yeah. I have. How long you been watching the channel?
Oh, I've been watching you for like a year.
A year? Oh wow. Okay, so you're pretty new. That's good, man. What video brought you here, man? Do you remember?
I can't say exactly which one. I like how you put it down. I stay silent in the background, but I be checking you out.
Okay, where you from?
Oh, I'm from Chicago.
Oh, okay. All right, that's what's up, man. Well, let's see what about this Black National Anthem.
For the Super Bowl, they sang the song Lift Every Voice and Sing, which is often referred to as the Black National Anthem. Some people didn't like this person, Vince, who wrote to the NFL on their Facebook page and said, Black National Anthem? Really? There's only one national anthem. Don't like it? Then maybe it's time to make the USA not your home. So I made my own National Football League Facebook page and responded and said, we're sorry to hear this and would like to make it right. We can send you a revised copy of the Super Bowl without anything black, but unfortunately there won't be any quarterbacks. And he wrote back and said, I worked and then took a nap. Who won again? That's funny you think I have a problem with the quarterbacks because they're black. Great reading comprehension. Thanks for letting us know about your nap. We are happy to hear that you are now woke. He said, not woke and never will be. Enjoy this little run while you can. This ridiculous BS will soon be coming to an end. Now go back to the herd and have a nice day. Thank you for lifting your voice and singing with us today.
And these are the type of glotters that are destroying this country.
Yeah, like they're the main ones. Like when you see these videos and you go to these comment sections, they're the main ones stirring up trouble.
They're brainwashed.
No, they're willfully brainwashed because they're the ones who are getting smacked upside the head, robbed, and everything else. I mean, how much more does it take? And then to accuse people of being racist just because they pointed out an obvious fact. I mean, you notice how he jumped all over what that man said. That man said nothing about racism. He wasn't being racist. He just said there's only one national anthem, which we all know what it is. There's no such thing as a black national anthem. And he jumped all over the guy and called it racist. That's why, it's
It's been like 25 years of just brainwashing these people.
Yeah, man. I wanna before we get into this story about this big dummy down in Florida, like this damn son. I used to hate that when I lived in an apartment with a key fob, man. I used to hate when people would let fucking randos in. What the fuck is the point of having a key fob if you're just gonna let anybody the fuck in? You know what I'm saying? It just fucking defeats the purpose, man. Salutes, Austin, um, Dovercourt, starting it off today, man. Salute to you, Austin Dovercourt. Salute, long-time viewer from Toronto, Canada. The Sun Man is running rampant here as well. There are no solutions. Your insight is invaluable. Salute. Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you, man. Let's go. Let's just go a little bit back in time, man. We gotta see some we gotta. 1988.
Tonight on 48 Hours.
It's just like we're a nightmare on somebody's
Like
street.
a plague. The Gang, 70,000 strong.
Going down with the blood.
Armed, deadly, out of control in Los Angeles.
Murder, treachery. You know what I'm saying? That's where it's at.
I didn't bring her in this world for somebody to shoot her down like a dog.
Same thing was going on back then. Sisters getting smoked.
I didn't bring her in this world for somebody to shoot her down like a dog.
The victims, targets of blood feuds and innocent bystanders. The police, trying to lay down the law in a lawless terrain.
Are you going to attend his funeral? This your car? He must be pretty good at the lotto game, huh?
2 days and 2 nights of terrorism on America's streets. Gang Street.
What's up, Bob? And I feel doomsday. It's for real. I feel it.
Gang murder, a vicious cycle of violence and vengeance tearing through Los Angeles at a rate of a death a day. There are gangs of all kinds, Hispanic gangs, a growing number of Asian gangs, but today most of the killers and victims are black. What you're about...
Did you hear that, AP?
nothing has changed. Nothing has changed.
I mean,
You have to lie more now.
yeah, he could never
Right.
say
That's
that.
the big difference. You can't call it out. You can't call it out anymore. That's racist.
He said there are
Not
Hispanic
just
gangs.
that. Back then, the cops could beat the fuck out of you.
Yeah.
And, half of them were corrupt anyway. They had them
Hispanic
special
gangs.
squads. They had the Scorpion squads, that would jump out on you.
Yeah.
Throw you down a couple of flights of stairs so you could fall down in custody.
Yeah. But he admitted. So for all the black people that would say, "Hey man, everybody got gangs," he gave them that. He extended them that olive branch. Yes.
This is that same time that the LAPD was running that, what was it, Rampart Division or some shit? Some big scandal with the cops. Was the
But they
same
had
time
to
period.
whoop people's asses back then.
Yeah, but why do
Oh
you
yeah,
think
they just whoop the shit out of you. They just pull you over, drag you out to dirty lot somewhere and beat the hell out of you.
But why do you think they had the Rampart? Do you think they just decided to have the Rampart? Do you think that the Rampart division wasn't a response to something that was going on?
There's a shitload of drug money going on.
You think it was the drug money? You don't think it was the violence?
The violence, I don't know, because maybe things are reported more now. You know what I mean? So everything seems like it's more. Where before, unless you knew somebody, you didn't, or lived in the area, you didn't find out about it. Now, if it's across the country, I hear about it.
Exactly.
Because of the internet.
But the people.
So I'm not sure if there's more people doing shit or not. If you actually sat down and looked at it, there's a population thing, and all the damn number crunching.
Okay.
Gang murder, a vicious cycle of violence and vengeance tearing through Los Angeles at a rate of a death a day. There are gangs of all kinds, Hispanic gangs, a growing number of Asian gangs, but today most of the killers and victims are black. What you're about to see is a crime story, but it's also a human story, set in a scary America many of us don't know. For 48 hours, a Friday and Saturday, come along with us to a battleground, where some citizens still stand and fight on the side of good, and others simply fight.
Now, today that they couldn't do that in California. As soon as they set up their cameras and equipment, they'd be carjacked and robbed.
Right.
They couldn't do that today.
Right, no doubt.
There have been several camera people in San Francisco that have been robbed right on TV. They don't care. They take your car, your equipment, everything.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So this is a classic.
I still think it was worse back then. I think that California's trending towards this, but I think this time it was way worse back then. Like the numbers, I think they're going to get into the numbers too.
5 p.m. Rollout for a 200-member task force in the Los Angeles Police Department's War on Street Gangs.
Who do you hang out with? These guys. What gang?
It is force versus force.
Nobody has any idea. Nobody has nothing.
Versus anything or anyone.
You hear some commotion out here a little while ago?
That even hints of gang activity.
Sit down. Sit down. Cross your feet.
Sergeant J.J. May has been fighting youth gangs for 10 years.
Stick your feet up. Cross, my philosophy is if you're involved in gang activity and you get caught dirty and you violated the law, there's no free walks. You go to jail.
In neighborhoods just outside the Los Angeles city limits, the sheriff's anti-gang unit also hits the street, seeking clues to disorganized crime.
You guys know anything about the shooting? No. Did you hear about a shooting? Shirley, you never heard about a shooting? It's your neighborhood, man. I know. Let me ask you, would you tell me if you did? Straight out.
If I did, I'll tell you.
Okay, you know why?
Well,
You'd be real honest. You'd be real honest. You said, look,
covering hundreds of square miles, Jerry Caono and his colleagues, city and county, encounter in all an estimated 600 different gangs.
Told you the other day, you got to get off the corner. You're going to get shot again.
we like to go around our areas when the light is out, the sun is up, give us a feel for foot traffic we might expect later on in the evening. Tonight being anticipated being a warm night, we're going to have a lot of foot traffic, going to be a lot of parties, going to be a lot of cocaine dealing. What's up, man? What's happening tonight? We get out here and we do a lot of serious talking with young people. We, at the same time, are gathering intelligence.
Who's Curtis? You don't have any knives or guns on you, do you? How come you're not on at your house where you're supposed to be?
Isn't this that community policing that black folk be always talking about? Why don't they get out of their cars and get to meet the people?
And he's a man of color.
They've been doing this shit. They've been getting out of their cars. They've been talking to these people. There's no solution. None.
There was another attack at Temple.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get into that later on.
Put your hands in the car, hon.
You're getting older. I almost don't recognize you anymore.
Last time I saw you, you told me that you were going to go to Louisiana. What happened?
In neighborhoods rife with drug dealing and violent rivalries, suspicion is everywhere.
Hey, my man, is this your car?
The wrong car, the wrong face, in the wrong neighborhood.
Now, if your sister has no job and you got no job, things must be pretty good with the lotto game, huh? Hey, my man, how much money you got back here? $2,100, just in case. May I ask for what? Maybe narcotics for sales or something. A lot of money for a man with no job.
What kind of case you got going that you need $2,100 for?
For my lawyer.
What type of case?
Being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Well, what kind of case? Don't bullshit.
Drug case?
For what, sales? For what? Just for possession?
2 of the men were arrested but later released with no charges filed.
Where you going? Hey, where you going? Oh.
Critics contend that sweeps for gang members often border on harassment.
Every time I drive, boom, pull over, get out, knees down, hands up. I know the routine.
Christopher, what's this used for? Let me guess. You're a mailman and you beat the dogs off.
No, an old
huh?
friend of mine's left that in the car and he used it for fighting. You can throw it over the wall. I don't have to use that. I got my.
Now you know why we started searching your car. Look at the way
you talk very tough to them. Very tough to them. Could you talk that way to citizens in Beverly Hills?
I don't have that problem with citizens in Beverly Hills, you know.
Did you hear that? He said you talk tough to them. You talk to people in Beverly Hills like that. Why would he go in Beverly Hills?
The dumbest question ever.
I miss the 1980s. I miss the 1980s. You know he'd be fired if he answered like that today.
Right. He would definitely be fired. You'd have to give a word salad now to explain that.
I was in high school. I went to Napa, California.
Yeah.
I lived in Napa, California in 87, in the winter of 87, 88. And this is, what the cops look like. All of them. Had the same uniform, everything.
Yeah. He simply said, I don't have these problems out of people in Beverly Hills. They're not killing each other every night.
Oh, down here, if you talk nice to them and slap them on the hand a little bit, they're just going to walk around the corner and do something else, you know.
Okay, you guys got the message, right? Yeah. Move these cars and then move your bodies. I don't want to see none of you tonight. None of you.
These guys think they're warriors out here. And much like soldiers or warriors, they'll protect their territories.
Look straight ahead, young man. Look down there at the beach. You got no weapons tonight, huh? How old are you now?
14.
14. You're starting out kind of young, aren't you? Huh?
You guess so? Yes.
What do you mean you guess so? Yes or no?
Yes. I ain't no gangbanger, though.
What is this?
Huh? No, they just, some of the 60s want me to dress like this.
Why?
They want me to be a gangbanger.
They want you to be a gang member, so they tell you to dress like this?
The low-slung baggy pants is typical gang fashion.
Are you going to attend his funeral? Huh? You are? You think it's necessary, that he has a young funeral, huh? What school do you go to?
Not far away the next night, a drive-by shooting. 3 injured in the latest violent game of tit for tat.
This guy's got a shot to the right temple area. Looks like
You say anything?
No.
Come on, straight out. You know what's up.
They didn't claim no cent. I don't
This
know
car
who it
drive
was.
by earlier?
Nope.
Anybody throwing any signs?
Nope, I ain't never seen
The final toll for our 48 hours will be 196 arrested.
Yeah, we're going to get tough. We're going to get tougher.
4 dead.
And if it takes fear, they fear us, fine. And that's, let them fear us.
Really, I joined the game because it seemed that was the main thing going on. It's like a style among our
On the street, they call him Sad. The day we caught up with him, he was visiting some old friends at the cemetery.
But you know what? How many people in the cemetery?
I got at least 5 people buried here, at least 5 at the most.
At least five of your friends?
Yes, sir. At least 5.
Kids?
You know, they was young. They died pretty young.
What are we talking
Early
about?
20s, maybe 19, early 20s.
Gang?
You know.
Gangs? All of them?
Yeah, all of them.
And how'd it happen? Would they get shot?
Shot and killed.
What is that?
This is normal. You see, are you guys seeing how normal this is for us? Like the white guy, he's confused. He's like he's asking questions. This is just normal behavior, man. This is there's a sense of normal. That's why I say, man, we would be fine, man, if gliders took their hands off of us and just left us alone and left get and we just had free reign to lead and run this shit by ourselves. We would run it into the ground, but we would be fine, man. I promise you that, man. We would be fine, and there would be nothing. And I don't think anything's wrong with that, man. I don't think anything's wrong with that, man. The only problem comes is when you're in a multicultural society, when you have other groups that have to live and coexist with you. But when it's just us, this stuff is just normal. It doesn't even move the meter.
The bad thing is
go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
The only thing making this abnormal is white people can't understand this. That's it. Everything here is normal. Very normal. We would all be fine.
You got a tombstone there on your arm?
Yes, sir. That's like a memorial to my homeboys that all had died, you know. So I feel, you know.
So these are
they all deceased in gang activity. I always think of it.
Really?
I always think of dying. I get up every day thinking like that. For the simple fact, if you don't, that's when you seem to lose your life, when you ease up on the fact that you know that you can't die not so early. You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
When you ease up on, that's when the most time it seems like you go. That's what we call. That's the term we use is slipping. You know what I mean?
Slipping.
Slipping mean ain't being aware of what could possibly take place on any given day.
So when you wake up, you think about that. You really mean it that way?
I really mean that's the only way I feel I can live as long as I can. You know what I'm saying?
It's not a neighborhood of tenements and back alleys and
a big worm, man.
Over garbage cans. It's a community of private houses and nice lawns.
It's a community of private houses and nice lawns. Okay? This is not the projects. This is not the projects. This is a community of private houses. What do you think about that, Out the Socket TV?
It's just like being in the what do you call them, townhouses. It's not like where we live. It's just it's almost like a mentality we feel we gotta live up to. And I say we because I'm black, and it's almost like a written code. You know, like some people get told they're not black enough, so it's almost like a standard you gotta live up to. So it don't matter what the houses look like. You can live in the hood or you can live in the suburbs. It's a mentality.
Yeah, man.
The thing I notice is this is the second generation of fatherless households that we're watching on the screen.
Yeah, but it don't really got nothing to do with none of that, man. These dudes could all have fathers, man, and it would still.
Oh, they have fathers, but they don't know who the hell they are.
The fatherlessness exacerbates the problem, but the problem would still be there. You understand what I'm saying? Like a lot of people try to blame the whole thing on fatherlessness. Like if everybody had a father, none of this would be going on.
No, but there's a lot to be said for learning boundaries from a very young age. And that's what men are good at. Well, men and women are different animals, man.
hold on, time out. If George Floyd is your dad, it's good to have him in the house. If Rashard Brooks is your dad, it's good to have him in the house. If Jacob
Oh
Blake
no,
is your dad, it's good to have.
they're
That's
both terrible. All those are
no,
terrible.
no,
But those
Bill,
are the third and those
Bill,
are already the third and fourth generation
Bill.
kids.
That's who these guys' fathers are.
Oh, I know. And the only thing positive is at least this fucker can read, because you got that shit written on his arm. Compared to the
It's
schools
not
the
a
other day.
neighborhood of tenements and back alleys and tipped over garbage cans. It's a community of private houses and nice lawns. Not the place you imagine when you imagine a war zone. But this is home turf for some of the Crips and the Bloods, two of LA County's most vicious gangs.
LA police are getting their orders as they prepare for another assault on street gangs.
Beach Avenue, but that was before the Los Angeles Police Department declared war on street gangs in the city. And before a shooting Wednesday night,
low. It's dust low.
All right, hold on. Let me just ask you a question. Why are you guys Bloods? Why are you in the gangs?
Why's we in the gang? I guess because the area we grew up in, man. Everybody go in that area, man. Everybody follow the same line. BGs grow up to be OGs. Little niggas.
His gang name is Dusty Loke.
What's up, bro? What's up, B-Dad?
Short for Dusty Loco, Crazy Dusty. He is a Blood wearing the blood color.
Dusty. Wow. My man's name is Dusty Loco. You can't make this shit up, man. You cannot make this shit up, man. You cannot make this shit up. Dusty. That's what they call, that's what the sisters on YouTube call these niggas nowadays. Dusties and shit.
Red. Dusty is a gang banger, which is what they call you when you've been allowed in as a full-time active gang member. What is that? OGs, BGs?
OGs is original gangster. Original gangster.
And BGs?
BGs is baby gangsters. Baby gangsters.
Baby gangsters.
Call us BG.
Now you're proud of the fact that you're in the gang.
Lime Hood. Yeah.
From Lime Hood. But you're proud of the fact that you're Blood.
Yep.
Why is that?
Why?
Yeah.
Because I'm down. I'm down for it. Because I'm a true. I come from the heart.
But why? Why be in a gang? What's in it for you?
What's in it?
I mean, you get killed, right?
Yeah.
Well, you mean some of your friends been killed?
Yeah.
So
For the simple cause.
What's the simple cause?
Of being a Blood. Going down with the Bloods. That's how we feel. We die, it's like we go kill one of them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
One of them died. Because they down for it. They'll get took out.
And then guess what happens after one of them die?
And they come back. And then it's a feud until they don't want no more, until everybody just drop it. But ain't nobody gonna drop it.
You're willing to die for whatever this cause is?
If that's what it takes.
Yeah, I'm not saying you want to. I'm saying you
No,
will.
I don't want to. But if somebody riled up on me and take me out, I guess it was my time to go like that. But ain't nobody did it yet, so I guess it ain't my time to go.
How old are you?
I'm 17.
The one say other than that, it ain't no difference at all.
See, I'm telling you now, I don't be crazy. I tell you,
All right, man. I just wanted to give y'all a little bit of, let y'all see these issues, man.
Now that we've seen examples of glimmers of change, let's get to tangible change in our justice system. During Derek Chauvin's murder trial, the defense repeatedly brought up George Floyd's size. His defense attorney said 3 officers were physically incapable of overpowering just one man. But this isn't the first time we've seen victims of police brutality have their bodies used against them in court. Eric Garner, Alton Sterling, Michael Brown, and Tamir Rice are just a few examples of recent cases where this flawed justification for violence was used in court. The same line of reasoning was used when LA police officers beat Rodney King. It's rooted in the history of policing in America. But the problem with policing and unjust treatment of Black people, it goes further back than modern history. Policing in the U.S. is directly tied to slavery. In southern states, slave patrols were used to maintain the submission of enslaved people, and they did it through violence and the fear of violence. Slave patrols formally dissolved after the Civil War, but little changed to make the laws more equal. Black codes were passed in 1865. They evolved into Jim Crow laws in the South and continue to find ways to imprison Black people to use them for economic gain. It's something historian Khalil Muhammad calls Black criminality. In his book, The Condemnation of Blackness, he defines this as the process by which people are assigned the label of criminal, whether they're guilty or not. That process has been a vicious cycle in American history. Muhammad says Black people are arrested to prevent them from exercising their rights, then deemed dangerous because of the arrest, and then denied rights even further.
Okay, so what do you think about that? Black people are arrested to prevent them from exercising their rights, man. What do we think about that, man? That makes sense.
I mean, possibly, because bonds being so high, and it's hard to fight a case from inside a jail. So, I mean, it makes a lot of sense.
So you think that Black people are being arrested for they're being arrested to so their rights can be taken away? That's the reason why they're being arrested?
No, I wouldn't say that. I can't back that statement. But
So,
nothing is at face value. It's just like the rabbit hole. It's, the cause and effect. This produces that. And, it's just like, a chain of events. So it's just like one thing leads to another. So it's like, it's crazy, man.
So do you think that they're just rounding up brothers for no reason, or you think that the brothers are getting arrested for a reason? Well, what do you think?
It could be both. Because people are out here doing things, and then you got people that don't do things and just get caught up. So it's just like, I believe it is both.
So the institution of policing in America is built on stereotypes. But how does that impact trials attempting to hold police accountable? Well, to try and help me answer that is former Assistant Attorney General of New Jersey, Shavar Jeffries. Shavar, first, can you just break down some of the stereotypes that Black people face in these cases of police brutality and explain how they tend to be dangerous and deflect from accountability?
Well, thank you so much for the context you just laid out. It really speaks to the history of policing and criminality and the stigmatization of Black bodies. People should remember that the entire premise for slavery were that Black people were subhuman, right? The United States Supreme Court in the Dred Scott decision made it explicitly clear. We talked about that Black people could be reduced to slavery for their benefit, right? So that it was good for Black people to be in this type of status because they weren't fully human. And as you laid out, at post-emancipation, those premises continue to play a significant role in a variety of different policy domains, including policing and criminal punishment. So the Black codes, they restricted a variety of different activities by Black people and largely deemed Black people to be presumptively criminal. And we still wrestle with that history today, where for the most mundane, we obviously saw the situation with Daunte Wright, who allegedly had an improper air freshener hanging from his rearview mirror. This presumption that Black people are predatory or criminal flows out of a racist and white supremacist foundation that we've had in our cultural underpinnings in this country.
What you think about that? What you think about that, man? Huh? What you think about that? Out the soccer TV, man. What you think about that? That makes sense to you? I guess he might be not available right now.
After 72 people were shot in one weekend in the city of Chicago, that city's mayor is calling for everyone there to work together.
And Jenna, that violent weekend is also shining a spotlight on another issue. And it's an issue some don't talk about. Who is killing these Black victims? Not whites, not the police, but other Blacks.
Look at that smile. He ready for school.
KG Wilson bears a heavy cross, literally
And this cross is about 400 pounds.
and figuratively.
Sometimes I feel alone. Sometimes I feel alone.
Alone, responding to a silent call for help. KG's past is embedded in Chicago's present. This weekend, 72 people were shot and at least 13 were killed. KG's heart is heavy.
The violence here and the violence in Chicago, back home in Chicago. My mission has been for 15 years now is the focus on us. And when I mean people of color, something that is kept a secret. And many times it's connected to stop snitching.
Snitches get stitches.
Yes. Yes. And the ones that don't get snitched on continue to hurt and kill and terrify and destroy our community.
No arrests have been made in any of Chicago's weekend incidents.
Think about this. This is a few years ago. That weekend, 13 people were murdered in Chicago. 72 people were shot, and not one person was arrested in connection with any of those shootings. Could that happen in a glider town, Bill? Quickly?
No, not where I live. Nope.
What's up, Wicked?
Our schools ain't like that, first of all.
What's up, Wicked? What's going on, man?
Hey, I that one comment the guy made about Dante Wright and predatory.
Yeah,
he was a predator.
Yeah, I didn't even bother, man. So you can't they'll have you fucking your head spinning if you respond to everything. Yeah, man. But what do you think about 70? What do you think about 13 people murdered, 72 people shot, and separate incidents? It's not like one guy went around and did this thing. These were multiple incidents.
And think about how many shots that is if you have 70-something hits.
Yeah.
I think that's you know how the wokes like to say sounds about white? Sounds about son.
That's like 400 or 500 rounds.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, that's more than 400 or 500 rounds, man. That's like thousands of rounds, man. The sun community hit that many. Yeah.
Yeah, not to mention all the Hennessy that must have been getting drunk in each of these cases.
Weather says the conditioning of Sun people, law, order, and authority equals oppression. Ultimately, you cannot police people who draw these types of conclusions. In turn, society is held hostage by some people. Yeah, that's true. Law and order and authority equals oppression. That is very true.
That's an interesting point.
Yeah, exactly. And I get it too, because we wouldn't have these laws in this order. We definitely have order. we'd have laws before we had order.
Yeah, this is how Compton was.
Yeah, and it would be all right.
Down in the dirty LA stuff.
You know what I'm saying? I think we would be fine. I think you guys just don't understand. Sun people would be fine. Did those people in LA in that documentary, those people look miserable? Did they look like they were just living in hell? Those people were fucking fine, man.
15 years ago, Wilson and his son, now peace activists, escaped Chicago's violence. They moved to Minneapolis.
I just left everything there and jumped on the first bus and came here with no place to go or nothing. It was about saving my son's life.
Tanisha Taylor Bell is about saving lives, too.
I can't save every young person in the city. I wish I could. It was the city that raised me, a city that I love, a city that also took my father's life. He was shot as well by teenagers there, ages 15, 19, and 21, when I was just 5 years old.
Bell says teens like the ones who killed her father were the inspiration behind a scholarship foundation bearing her dad's name.
We provide scholarships, mentorships, and life skills seminars to young men who are middle class, sometimes fall through the gaps. You know, they may be the C student, and oftentimes they don't have opportunities or resources to them.
Mentoring addresses the topic some ignore.
You don't see these killings in mass numbers like this. and other races. You know, how can we expect someone else to respect us if we don't respect ourselves? So the black on black crime that is plaguing not only Chicago, Detroit, Minneapolis, so many cities across the nation, but you have to start at home. You have to take care of home. You know, you have to make sure that our young people respect our race.
From her office in Atlanta to street corners in Minneapolis, both Bell and Wilson, Chicago natives, are doing their part.
If I have to stand by myself in front of a firing squad, I'm going to be that one who let the youth in the community know that this is right. We can't be quiet about it anymore.
According to the FBI's Uniform Crime Reporting data for 2016, 90.1% of black victims of homicide were killed by other blacks. But the story doesn't stop there. 83.5% of whites were killed by other whites. Some will argue this data shows this is a truth across racial boundaries. Tanisha, who you just heard from in this story, worked as a...
What about the fucking volume? They never talk about the volume. The comparison and the volume of that. The fact that just they started the segment with us one weekend in one city. You had 72 shot and 13 murdered. They were almost all were black.
That's what they call an inconvenient truth.
But just think about if they took all the cities that weekend. They could only focus on one city. Then they want to say, well, some white guy killing his wife here and a white guy, killing his neighbor here is the same thing because, it's this. No, it's not the same thing. Black people kill at a rate that's just insane, man.
Do you want to know what the big news story is where I live?
What's that?
On February 13th, some teenagers got busted shooting at road signs.
Oh, yeah.
That was it. That's the big scoop.
Man. That's dangerous, man. They
had a 12 gauge, a 9mm pistol, and a 22. So just regular stuff.
Yeah, those guys.
Oh, the only bad thing was they had a runaway with them.
Oh shit! They thugging it all the way up out there, man.
Well, the runaway got picked up, and then the three boys got reckless endangerment tickets and destruction of property tickets.
Before we put everybody to sleep, let me move along, Bill. You want to put people to sleep, man.
Mayberry.
Yeah, man. Let's get to the main event, man. There's a lot going on.
At 10, she says she had no fear. Take a look at this dramatic.
Who believes that? Who believes that this woman had no fear?
She was terrified. She should have been, rightfully so.
Chat. I want to chat. Chat. Who believes that this woman had no fear? After she let this son man in, the son man didn't have a key fob. He was standing outside the door like, yeah, can I come in? She let him in.
At 10, she says she had no fear. Take a look at this dramatic video of a woman fighting off the man who attacked her while she was alone at the gym. He walked away bruised and battered, and by the next day, he was behind bars. Well, tonight, this young woman is sharing her story, hoping to inspire others to always keep fighting. Fox 13's Chris Cato is in our newsroom tonight with her incredible story and the chilling video that tells it, Chris. It's hard to watch.
Unbelievable. Ali, Nashali Alma is her name. She's 24 years old.
Nashali Alma. I'm going to say Middle Eastern. What say you?
I don't know. Alma? Not sure.
It sounds about Middle Eastern to me.
Now, what you're about to see happened 3 weeks ago inside the gym at her apartment complex in Carrollwood. She asked the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office to share her story, share this video, because she wants other women to see, A, you can never let your guard down, and B, if you are attacked by a man, you have the strength within to fight back. Here's how she...
See, now this is the shit that pisses me off. If me or Wicked or Bill or anybody on this panel were talking to some fucking kids, school-age kids, and we just was that boy right there. People like this woman would check us and be like, well, how do you know that person identifies as? How do you know what that person's pronouns is? But when they get their asses kicked or get attacked in public, they always instantly say that the person was a man. They never fucking wonder if the fucking guy identifies as a man.
Not for nothing. This is years of girls being told, oh, you're just as strong as a man.
What if this guy does not identify? What if this guy identifies as a woman? And it's just a cat fight.
Man, you have the strength within to fight back. Here's how she did it. Here's the surveillance video from the gym. At the top of the screen here, you'll see the guy standing at the door knocking to be let in. Now then, you'll see on another camera angle, Nishali walk toward the door. She said,
even if this gym was teeming with people, you still don't let somebody in. That's why you have key fobs. I hate people that do this. Who here hit one if you live in one of these buildings with the electronic key fob entry? Because I mean, a lot of people don't understand that. Like, you just come, you hit the little sensor, and a lot of times there are people waiting outside.
Yo, I have nothing like that.
I would make eye contact with this brother and I wouldn't let him in. I'd look him dead in his eye and no.
Right. She's in a gym alone by herself. She sees some raggedy, scraggly looking son, man. I mean, this guy's a fucking I look like
there's a 24-hour gym, and that's the only place I know that has a combination lock. And nobody will let you in if you don't know the combination. That's stupid.
I mean, this woman is dumb as shit, man. She's stupid as shit. She's the type of woman that gets your packages stolen. Like, because in a lot of these buildings, they just put the packages in the little foyer where the mailboxes are. And then you let people like this in and the fucking packages start missing. This woman's a fucking moron. She put everybody in danger.
here you'll see the guy standing at the door knocking to be let in. Now then you'll see on another camera angle, Nishali walk toward the door. She says she had seen this guy in the gym before, never had a problem with him. So she lets him in, and he comes on in, and they are the only two.
She'd seen him in the building before, never had a problem with him.
It doesn't matter. People don't pay their dues.
So she lets him in, and he comes on in, and they are the only. Nishali walked toward the door. She says she had seen this guy in the gym before, never had a problem with him. So she lets him in, and he comes on in, and they are the only two people in the gym at this time. A couple minutes.
I mean, how could you be? I need help with this, Suns fan, longtime Suns fan. Can you help me out with this?
She didn't want to be racist. She didn't want to,
But this is fucking moronic, man.
Yeah,
like,
it
you
is.
Fucking.
Absolutely no sense of security whatsoever.
You gotta have shit for brains, man. If there were other people in the gym.
Living in fucking La La Land.
She's in the gym by her fucking self.
I mean, I would say that she's lucky he didn't overpower her, but that'd be sexist of me, right?
Right. What do you mean overpower her? She's just as strong as her. They switch back and forth with that shit so much. You don't even know where the fuck it is. You keep that's what I said. They keep your head spinning, man.
Right, for sure. But that is impressive, though, nonetheless. Crazy. The fact that she was able to fight him off, I'll give credit where it's due. I'm impressed by that.
She didn't fight him off. If he would have been raining haymakers on her, he was just trying to wrestle with her. He wasn't slugging her. He wasn't hitting her with, stop
having a knife in her throat.
Yeah, he didn't have a knife.
I hear what you're saying, but nonetheless.
Yeah, I give her credit for the fight for what he was doing. She fought, and as a woman, I tell you with this women all the time, when you're fighting a man in a situation like this, you're fighting to get away and get to the door and run. You're fighting to free your mouth so you can scream. You're fighting to protect your vital organs. You're not fucking trying to win. This isn't Kill Bill. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna fucking win the fight. You're just trying to get the fuck away from this fucking animal. And I think a lot of these movies convince women to try to fight to win. No, you fighting to get the fuck away from this animal and run to a fucking door or run to a window or run to a fucking pull a fucking fire alarm or some shit. You're not trying to fucking kick this guy's ass. You can't do it. Salute to Herb Ush, man. He says, women, let me give you advice. Let fear rule your life. Fear will keep your senses heightened against danger and your senses sharp against evil. Salute, man. That is a great point, man. Yeah, women, like, you're in the gym by yourself at night in a city, in a major fucking city, full of fucking sun violence. Tampa's just a sun fucking cesspool. And you got this scraggly ass fucking ragamuffin looking fucking raggedy ass motherfucking son banging on the door. And he can't get in because he doesn't have a fob. The only way he could get in is if he fucking kicks the door down, but then the alarm's gonna go off. And you just walk over it and let him in.
When I leave town, I drive my wife crazy because I have to switch modes. I have to act like I'm on another planet, like I'm going downrange. It's fucking terrible. It drives her crazy. But yeah. I literally just soak in everything, and it's terrible because I can't relax.
Yeah, man, you gotta. If women stop being so fucking, stop listening to these fucking college, fucking bred, fucking liberal women telling you all this bullshit. Women survive for eons by being terrified.
At the top of the screen here, you'll see the guy standing at the door knocking to be let in. Now then, you'll see on another camera angle, Nishali walked toward the door. She says she had seen this guy in the gym before, never had a problem with him. So she lets him in, and he comes on in, and they are the only two people in the gym at this time. A couple minutes pass, you'll see her at the bottom of the screen lifting weights. He's just standing there looking at something. This goes on for about 2 minutes, and then without a word, she says, he just walks up to her and starts trying to grab her. She pushes him away, yells at him, tries to run away from him.
Right here, she had the right idea.
She did good to create distance and get away. Let's see where she fucks up.
Yeah, because she has the right idea right here. So far, so good. But we know it didn't turn out that way, so she did something wrong. DC, your fucking device is not connected. So you got to get your device right so I can bring you up, DC.
She's got her phone in her hand. She's trying to...
She stops. Oh, God, Jesus Christ.
Get out the door to another door that's lockable. All these things. Not stop. Oh, I'm going to hide behind this fucking bench press.
No, get to the door, get out on the street and start screaming. This is the street out here. Fuck is wrong with her?
Run away from him. She's got her phone in her hand.
She could have made it to that fucking door probably if she would have hauled ass.
He's trying to dial 911, but she says he's trying to grab...
She's trying to dial 911. Oh, my God.
If she'd have had some fancy football feet, she could have got the hell out of there easy.
By the time they get there, let's just say he lets you dial 911. He doesn't snatch your phone and break it. Let's just say some miracle he lets you stand there and dial 911 because, you know, like, I don't know where they get this shit from, where these fucking women. They're not going to be there in time to stop him from what he wants to do. And he has on slides, too. This motherfucker has on slides. I'm tired of seeing these criminals do all this crime in slides. It's disrespectful, man.
Hey, they're so comfortable. A little too comfortable.
It's fucking disrespectful. I seen a video where they were carjacking in slides. It's like, come on, man. Like, at least I get it. The laws, the fucking pasty liberals and the sisters made it real easy on criminals. But don't stunt. Like, you know, like you doing too much, man.
All right, white moment. What are slides?
They're these flip-flops.
Yeah, like house shoes.
Oh, flip-flops with the string that goes between the toe?
No, just
no, like the
strap
house
over
shoes,
top. It's
like
just
the
a strap over
Nike.
the top. There's nothing between the toe.
Oh, like
Grab her
slippers?
phone, trying to stop her.
Yeah,
He
slippers.
keeps coming at her as she keeps that bench between them. Then she runs to
Okay.
She stopped again.
She outran slippers again.
Yo, if she was gone too, she would have been long gone on his ass.
What's wrong with this woman, man? Somebody tell me what's wrong with this goddamn moron, man. Starscream, who are you, man?
Hey, man, what's going on? Salute to everybody. I listen to you guys every day of the week, man. I'm from Chicago originally, but I live in the far northwest suburbs, man. How y'all doing?
Okay, what's up, man? What's wrong with this woman, man?
She's lucky to be alive even. You know how some man is. You know, I don't know if she thought she was being helpful or what the hell was going on, but I mean, she man.
But when you see this guy, when you see pictures of this guy looks like he just fucking. This guy literally looks like he fell out of a fucking goddamn. like he fell on the back of a fucking.
Like he's at a Skid Row.
Yeah, man, this like a fucking rabbit muffin, man. He just fucking like he literally like he just a fucking. He looks like the type of motherfucker that you be like, no way you getting in here. Not while I'm by myself. Like, fuck that. Even me, I wouldn't have let him in because if he pulls a gun on me and robs me, what can I do?
Right.
Like, she's fucking. This woman is fucking retarded, man.
He was gone.
You got a lot of that going on in the back, Sketch. You got to get your. You got a lot of like noise. You're beating your mic up. Be easy on your mic and mute yourself when you're not talking, please. Thank you.
All right.
Maybe it's some kind of dumb bitch survivor.
I don't know, man.
It's like a game
stop
show.
her. He keeps coming at her as she keeps that bench between them. Then she runs to the other side of the gym, but he wouldn't stop. And then the attack became really violent, him grabbing her around the waist. But he messed with the wrong person here. She is pummeling him with her fist. Then she has her phone in her.
The door's right here. Why did she run past the door? Why did she? Maybe I think she
keeps that bench between them. Then she runs to the other side of the gym, but he wouldn't.
The door's right here, and it's one of them push doors where you just push it and it opens. You don't have to turn no handle. You just hit the door and it pops open. She should have just ran to the door, put her shoulder into the door, and poof, it fell through and started screaming, "Ah, bloody hell, Mary!" And that motherfucker would have ran off.
I'm
Hit
surprised.
the panic button on her car keys, start screaming.
Yeah.
I'm surprised she didn't clock him upside the head with one of those weights, one of those free weights.
You can't pick up one of those fucking free weights. You fucking crazy. A woman can't pick up one of those free weights.
Stop. And then the
5-pounder
attack became really violent, him grabbing her around the waist. But he messed with the wrong person here.
She's so busy trying to call the police. The fucking racist slave catchers and shit.
Man.
Yo, she was too busy. That's what distracted her. She was too busy calling the slave catchers.
She is pummeling him with her fist. Then she has her phone in her hand, is pummeling him with that too. He took her to the ground, and he did get on top of her for a few seconds, but Nishali, she just kept fighting, kept hitting, kept squirming.
She did
until
get there.
she was
She pulled
able
into
to
guard.
get back to her feet with him hanging on, and they go out of view of the camera for about 17 seconds. And when they come back into view, he's pretty much done. He is toast. He gives up, and she runs to the door, runs to freedom. And this is how she describes what was going through her mind as he was attacking her.
When it was happening, I actually had no fear. I am a...
Stop fucking lying.
You're fucking stupid.
Fuck up.
She
Stop
was scared as hell.
Blood clot fucking lying. Shut your fucking blood.
When that ragamuffin snatched her up and got on top of her, there was fear.
She was thinking about what their baby would look like. She was like, oh my God, we're going to have an ugly baby.
She's like, oh shit, I won't even be able to claim it at the window.
What the fuck is she talking about? She wasn't scared. Shut your fucking mouth.
No, that ain't mine. Mine's the pretty one on the left.
I actually had no fear. I am a bodybuilder, and I'm actually pretty strong. So in my mind,
God, listen, man, and I'm not a woman beater, but I would fucking sneeze and she'd fucking fly across the room. Like one of my farts would knock her across the room. I'm not even fucking joking, man. Like, man, I would grab this woman by her wrist, and I just grab her by her wrist and squeeze, and then she would do whatever I said. I wouldn't have to grab her whole body. I would just grab this woman's wrist, and I could control her. What is she talking about? I'm pretty strong. You're pretty strong with other women. I'm sure you kick some women's ass.
You can fuck up Karen from the typing pool. But
right. But come on, man. You fucking crazy. That guy copped some feels, and he got his little rub down, his little feels on, his little grind.
The bump and grind.
He's happy, man. He's happy.
he was kind of equal to me. So in my mind, I knew I was stronger than him and I knew I could fight back. My parents always told me in life to never give up on anything. And that's one thing I always kept in my mind when I was fighting him. As long as you don't give up, you fight back, you show him that you are strong, that you are one, that you're able to fight back and survive this and get out of the situation, I believe it's possible. As if I keep going, if I keep pushing, I keep fighting, he's going to stop. He's going to let go, and he finally did.
You notice that he didn't swing on her once. It's just her hitting him.
Exactly. Just a little squeeze.
He didn't throw one punch.
Maybe he's a gentleman.
Yeah.
I think it was like he said, he wanted to just cop a feel, get his feels. He's probably watching her for a while, and he figured, oh man, it's an opportunity. She by herself, and I'm surprised because of the way he looked that she would even let him in.
Right, that motherfucker looked like he fell out of a blender and shit.
You tell he's homeless. I mean, damn.
God. Yeah, that motherfucker looked like they were like news report, like breaking news. A man was found in a trash compactor today. Rescue squad saved him.
Would not be shocked if it was that guy.
I think he was trying to cop a feel of the inside of that box.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
He didn't throw one punch. Not one.
Right, she had on them little tight yoga pants. He just couldn't help himself.
She's up here bragging about how. Come on, man. If that guy wanted to fucking
beat a man's ass.
If that man wanted to box, man.
Y'all bet you won't do that shit again, though.
Nah.
That ain't a
So
fight.
after
That's
Nashali
barely
escaped, she
wrestling.
ran to an apartment and called 911, and she says deputies got there fast, but the attacker had already left. He apparently didn't go far, though, because they arrested him the next day at the apartment complex, and that's because...
Think about it, yo. Think about how racist the country is. Some man we came back to the same spot the next day. That's like the other man we did with Chicago that choked that girl.
Yeah. With the Patel.
Yeah, he choked the Patel to death. He came back like something.
It was like the next day, too.
It's just strange. You gliders, man. You gliders are some strange racists, man. Like, some man just come back the next day.
They get an F from me. They get a D. I give them a D in racism.
I give them an F minus, man. Gliders get an F minus in racism, man.
Shit.
He came back the next day, like he just chilling, man. He like,
Dude,
he
should have been ghost. He should have been out of there.
Yeah, he should have been in another state, man. This guy should have just been like he just gonna come back to the fucking apartment complex the next day, man. No fuck.
She'd have put on the rabbit
Fast,
shoes
but
and
the
been
attacker
fucking
had
out
already
of
left.
there.
He apparently didn't go far, though, because they arrested him the next day at the apartment complex, and that's because he lives there, too, which is why she had seen this guy in the gym before. His name is Zay-
Remember yesterday? I'm telling you, man, I don't put it past no man.
He lives there. So how does this guy live in? I would love to know the backstory because is it rental assistance?
I heard about those free voucher things. Could it be something like that for COVID?
Market rate. Yeah, market rate for these things. Yeah, definitely.
And when I lived in the apartment, they had a lot of Section 8 people there, man. And I knew it was time to go. It was time to go because it was too many of us. And when I seen a gang fight in Arlington Heights, Illinois, I said, what? It just in the middle of the day, just like a whole bunch of them, man, like 15, 20 of them just fighting in the parking lot.
So damn. In Arlington Heights.
In Arlington Heights, man, I lived in a place called Tanglewood, and I found out just some years earlier there was a murder there between, you know, a son couple, man. This boy killed this dude right in the next building from where I was at.
Wow.
Yo,
I couldn't believe it.
Arlington Heights is what I thought was a nice suburb, but it's looking like, you know, there goes the neighborhood.
And that's where the new Bears Stadium is going to be. And I said something is wrong, and I knew it was bad when they stole my bike off the back porch in broad daylight. My dog was barking. I told him to shut up because it was 5 a.m. I said, "What the hell you barking at?" He's like, "Man, get up, man! They stole your bike." I got up. That motherfucker.
You know what he was saying? You lazy motherfucker. This is why you have me.
Yo, you said you move more west now after that?
Oh man, I'm almost in Wisconsin, man. I'm finna get up out of Illinois.
You're fucking running, man. I'm just running west.
I have to keep
until
moving
the
further and
bullshit
further
stops.
west.
Yo, just don't go to Rockford, bro.
Oh hell no.
Shit. But and leave Bill and his people alone in Wyoming, man. We don't want you out in Wyoming, man.
Man.
Wyoming is for gliders, okay? Utah, go to Utah.
Unless you really like cold. It's back down to below zero again.
Wyoming, Idaho, and Montana. Because I heard the Sun Man already took over Fargo, North Dakota. So we're gonna and they've taken Washington and Oregon, but we're gonna leave Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming. Those off limits, man. We
build the wall.
Gliders,
We'll be like a little sanctuary. Non-crazy.
Man, stand up gliders,
You
man.
can come and visit, but you got to leave after midnight.
No, you can't come visit. No, you can't come visit. No, fuck no. You gonna let some people visit?
Oh yeah, if you're on the street, they're just gonna roll you up. Fucking
but Starstream, he looks normal though. That applies to him. You know what I'm trying to say? He looks like a normal dude.
Yeah, man.
Man,
so
look, man.
So what do you think, Ike?
I say no. The Sun Man can't fucking visit. Can't go anywhere near Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming.
Why complicated? Why complicated?
There's no. I mean, gliders got to stay. Gliders are gonna have to fucking look. Maine is gone. Maine is a sanctuary. They got fucking Ethiopians and Sudanese in Maine. It's Congolese. Maine is done.
Damn.
I think New Hampshire and Vermont, they still holding strong for New Hampshire and Vermont. But
I'm trying to think what a Boston Oriental accent would sound like. Holy shit.
Yo, Maine had a good run.
Maine had a hell of a run. It's over.
It's through.
It's over.
It's through.
But yeah,
Park the cow, because they can't say R. Park the cow.
Yeah, but keep running, man. You're gonna find your home, man. You just gotta Starscream. You just gotta when you find that place, man, stop bragging to some people. Hey, man, I found this new place.
Yeah. Oh, it's terrible
Man,
here.
Look, I ain't said nothing. I came home one night.
Don't even let family visit.
Look, I don't even let family don't even know who I am. You know, my aunt told me, she said, "Shit, you out there with the white people, you too far out there." I said, "But you know what? It's peaceful. It's quiet. You know what I'm saying? No loud music. I come home in peace." I brought my truck one time because I used to be an over the road truck driver. I'm a local truck driver now, and I came down. I used to live on 64th and Sacramento, and I came in my alley. I was gonna park for the night. And there's about 30 dudes down there. And I blew the horn. I said, "Shit, I grew up right here. I live here, man." Dude showed me his piece. I backed out of the alley. I cut my lights off. I called the police. Police called me 2 days later, talking about if I needed 911. I said it was too late. I said I was trying to get home where I pay taxes, and they wouldn't even let me in my alley.
Damn.
And I'm in a big ass semi. I mean, you know, I'm without the trailer, but I'm just coming home, you know, because I go sleep in my own bed for a couple of days, you know, and I could even, because you know, ain't no parking on the street. Ain't no parking on the street in Chicago.
Well, you said 64 in Sacramento.
That's where I finished living. Yeah,
you could take your truck there. Like you had space to take a semi there. I'm surprised.
Yeah, in front of my garage. And look, in my garage, I put a wrought iron gate, swinging gate, so I can pull my truck in there, and I lock my cars, everything up in there, because I had a 6-foot wrought iron fence to go around my house, and I had a swinging gate to go around my backyard. That's what time it was. And one person called me. He said, "Man, you like you live in a prison." I said, "Yeah, I got to keep y'all out."
Yeah. Salute to midlife reset. He says, when they go off camera, look at her legs fly in the air. He was in charge. Yeah, he was in charge the whole time.
He was.
You know, she's just brain dead. If she had half her brain, it wouldn't even have got this far.
She had 1 or 2 classes at the fucking YMCA and learned how to wiggle and got away.
Yo, with neighbors like these, who needs enemies?
Right.
That's true.
And make sure you hit the PayPal, Cash App, Super Chat, support the channel. We coming down this. We going. It's a lot going on, man. Salute to my man Steve S. Man, Steve S. with the Cash App, man. Salute to Steve S. Man, and salute to my man Razzle, man. Razzle coming through. He says gliders feel racist for not letting Sunmen in because they would let a glider in. Because chances are they won't get the shit beat out of them and robbed by chances, the chances are less. Yeah, they're less. They're much less.
Yeah,
your chances of that happening, yes.
Keep going. If I keep pushing, I keep fighting, he's gonna stop. He's gonna let go, and he finally did.
And so after Nashali escaped, she ran to an apartment and called 911. And she says deputies got there fast, but the attacker had already left. He apparently didn't go far, though, because they arrested him the next day at the apartment complex. And that's because he lives there, too, which is why she had seen this guy in the gym before. His name is Xavier Thomas Jones. He's 25, and he's charged with sexual battery, felony kidnapping, and 3 counts of burglary now. And he is still in jail tonight. Again, this happened over 3 weeks ago. He's still in jail with no bond. Now, at this hour, we don't know if
no bond. Okay.
That just means they haven't gotten around to giving.
You think they might keep him in there this time?
I don't know. I mean, he
for a little while.
You know, he may go to get a bond reduced. Or he may. I don't know. I hope so. I hope they keep this piece of shit in. But I mean, her dumbass, man. I mean, you'd have to, like, in order to keep her safe, you'd have to lock up every son, man, in the fucking city.
She was trying to get molested.
hey, Joe, I'll bet you money. I promise you, Chief. In Kim Fox County, all this evidence we saw, the prosecutors will still be like, we don't have enough for charges. Yeah. They're like, well, we don't know what his intentions were. They will come up with some outlandish fucking reason why they're not going to prosecute this guy.
He's
Thank God we don't have this bullshit here, because my daughter would have jabbed her keys in his fucking eyes and ran off. She's trained. She has a pistol. There's a million things she can do. This girl just was, if that fucker would have hit her twice, she would have been done.
Man, if he had stabbed her. That's the other thing. Maybe what if he was armed with a knife or something?
Yeah.
You know,
that's what I said. What if you stick a knife in his throat?
Salute to Razzle, man. Razzle says that gym chick was thinking, I'm about to get taped by Childish, about to get raped by Childish Gambino.
Oh yeah, this bitch was like, fuck, I'm going in the trunk tonight.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, man.
Gambino with a Lenny Kravitz, man.
Hey, man.
And then Kravitz realized that he didn't have a car, so he fucking froze up and she got away.
Damn. Yeah. He kind of like a Black Charles Manson, though, too.
Yeah, this guy is a fucking piece of work, man. Oh, shit, man. Salute to...
he looks wound pretty tight.
Salute to Deluxe 247, a.k.a. the real MVP, a.k.a. Cal Ripken, showing up once again, man. This guy, man, he lives in there, man. Maybe I gotta give her a break. I mean, if a guy lives there, she's seen him several times.
Right.
She lets him in. I still think, though, that as a woman, like...
Then you say, why don't you have a key? Why can't you come in here?
No, as a woman, you gotta be more...
I'm not letting you in there.
No, as a woman, you just be more shrewd, man. Like a woman, because...
Pretend you have your earbuds on and never notice.
Right.
when a woman gets in one of these situations, man, it's very hard to get out of. So you gotta be that much more vigilant about not getting into these situations. Now I will say this. She doesn't let him in. He pulls out his phone, goes live. Hey y'all, I'm right here outside my building, man.
Hell
And
nah.
this white lady won't let me in my own building, man. Hey y'all, and then you know what I'm saying, and then
Yeah.
now you got fucking Crump or the local
Damn.
Crump, the Tampa Bay version of Crump, showing up down
All you
there.
wrestlers
The
out there,
NAACP.
all
Yeah,
you wrestlers out there, do unto others said she gave him the golden finger. It's a wrestling move. You'll know what I'm talking about.
yeah,
Yo, ain't that a bitch, Ike? What you just said? That's a fucking bitch right there. You're
yeah. I
damned if
mean,
you do.
he
Damned if you
all
don't.
he had to do was go live. I'm standing outside of my own building,
Right.
and she won't let me in. I seen this lady a bunch of times in here, and she won't let
Right.
me
In
in.
this day and age.
And
Look,
then this we gotta deal with. And then the building manager or whoever or property manager would talk to her, and they would have to send a letter to all the black residents. We don't condone this. I mean, although the rules say don't let people in certain cases you have to be. I mean, yeah, it would be a
Okay,
big.
you guys, I'm fucking going to hell for this. This is where my mind goes.
and look, if
Go ahead.
he don't have access to the building, he probably ain't paid for the because in my old building we had to pay for the gym, and the gym was separate. It was in a leasing office, so it was away from all the other apartments.
Amenity fee. Yeah, you had to pay your amenity fee. Now, but here's the thing though. She was unable, but as a woman, you have to be so shrewd. So here's what you got to do as a woman. In this case, you got to think, oh shit, you got to ignore him, right? But then if you accidentally catch eye contact with him, and you got to be like, okay, you pack up your shit, and then you walk towards the door, you swing it open wide, and then you walk out and you hold the fork so he can go in. Your workout's over. You're leaving. As a woman, you have to be shrewd, man. You can't afford to get into this situation, man. With this guy,
No, going into a locked open room with strangers is a terrible idea in a city.
Yeah.
I'll just put that out there in case nobody ever thought of it. And I can't say what I was going to
He's still in
after
jail.
it canceled.
Yeah.
With no bond. Now, at this hour, we don't know if he has a prior record of violence toward women, but the sheriff's office says it would not surprise them given his behavior there. Nashali says that she wants anyone who has had a similar experience with this man or with any other attacker to come forward and contact law enforcement. Speak up, and again, don't be afraid to fight back.
Yeah, ladies, call the slave catchers, man. If you know what I'm saying, call the slave catchers. Because
They'll catch him a day or two later.
Yeah. That's how they started, right? The beginning of the police was the slave catchers. So call the slave catchers, lady, on these if some man attacks you, man.
I say I didn't see him. It's dark outside. I couldn't see through. All I heard was a tapping. I don't know what to do. I just kept working. I couldn't hear him. I was working out on the equipment.
Yeah,
Or pretend like you're deaf and start flashing him some hand signals and just hope you ain't throwing up gang signs.
Yeah. Look at this shit, man. She's a fucking moron, man. This woman is a goddamn moron.
No situational awareness.
And then she turned her back on him too. I'm sure she was looking at him out the peripheral though.
Yeah, this could be a video like 9 easy ways to die, all in this one thing.
Yeah. The social pressures that woke women have to deal with, like, she's feeling uneasy right now because he's already acting weird. He's not stretching. He not like
he just sat down.
He just came and sat down, and
she's not showering.
Yeah, she's looking at him out her peripheral. She is, and she's probably like, and if she's these woke type women, they're terrified of black men. So now he's getting up and she's aware of it. Trust me, she's aware of where he's at. She may not be like totally scared shitless right now, but she's aware of where he's at right now. And he comes over.
Well, that's how they got that cop rapist, remember? He was running around beating on women's apartment doors.
Oh yeah, the one from the other night, yeah.
They killed that girl.
Yeah. Your diversity is your strength, man.
This is in Florida.
Yeah, this is Tampa, man. Tampa, man.
I'm surprised she wasn't armed because that's they're trying to do constitutional carry. So if I'm working alone,
working out.
Yeah.
Of all, man, women.
Yeah, my first thought was what gun would be perfect for working
y'all
out.
Keep acting like all y'all dudes is that should be straight. Like, do you date? Like, where's all these women that's carrying, man? Like, you must be married, right? And you never talk to other women that aren't your wife, right?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Shit, I was, man. Look,
women that are carrying, man.
But I'm just shocked because they make concealed carry holsters that you can wear while you're working out. That you can wear on your person, or at least have a taser sitting.
Girls won't even carry a gun when they're not working out. Why would they carry it while working out?
Yeah, like come on, man.
I keep mine in my
gym.
bag right by the gym, right by the machine I'm on.
Yeah, I keep my gun on me at the gym. You just never know, right?
No, but I get you're a man, but where are these fucking women? Like, how many times have you fucking dated a chick and you brought her over for some hanky and she's like, "Oh, let me just put my gun to the side."
Yeah, Nah, never.
That's
you
true.
could go your whole life and never meet a woman that's packing.
Yeah, no, I can't say that I have actually.
But everybody's like, "Why don't I have guns?" Like, they don't carry guns. They just don't. It's not in their nature. It's not in their nature. They have screams. Their screams is their protection, man. Salute the weather. He says, I bet she gets hounded by some men on the daily. Yeah, she feels to know how notoriously thirsty some men.
Yeah. And I think he probably hounded her. I don't know if he hounded her before, but he's probably watching her.
Yeah, definitely he's watching her. Without a doubt, he's watching her. I mean, listen, man, this guy, he was just trying to get some. He was trying to get him a little funky stuff, man. Give him some funky stuff.
Oh man,
some funky stuff, man. We hated on him, man. We it's really we gotta stop hating, man. I don't know, man.
She's playing hard to get.
Yeah, man. She's playing hard to get. God damn it. Yeah, man. Get that man some funky stuff, man. He can be on his way, man. Wrong word, man. But yeah, oh shit, I don't know why this fucking video ain't fucking loading, man. I'm trying to get this one video about this shit. Oh shit, well, let me see. It's not working. Here we go.
Tonight, it is the video you have to see to believe. A Hillsborough County man violently attacks a young woman in her apartment complex gym, but she is having none of it. And it was all caught on security cameras. News Channel 8's Trevor Sohaki is in the newsroom tonight with her incredible survival story. Trevor.
Jen, the victim here thought her attacker was working out, but after fighting for her life, the woman wants to talk about her experience to encourage other women who may have been in the same situation to speak out too.
Oh, it's just gonna be her talking shit about how brave she was. Never mind. Chick, you're lucky. That guy did not come with the full force of manhood. We didn't send our best. Okay.
He didn't have the power of the sun behind him that
Yeah,
time.
yeah, we
Yeah, he
didn't.
ain't on the varsity team.
Yeah, we didn't send our best, man.
That guy just wanted to try his luck at it. He wasn't committed.
Nah, he definitely wasn't. He wasn't. He didn't have that. He didn't have that like dedication because he didn't throw one punch. Not one punch. At least hit her on her chin a couple times. He was good. He just straight. Oh, okay. So we got a situation here at Wolf Chase Plaza, man. Um,
Breaking news is first at 6 tonight. Memphis police are on the scene at Wolf Chase Galleria Mall following reports of shots fired. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Stephanie Skurlock.
And I'm
a shooting at a mall. If that's not a context clue, man, I don't know what is. Like 99% of mall shootings are Sunday. Like literally. Razzle says.
Well, and you got the other 1% that's son women.
Razzle says after that dude mounted her, she'll never be able to get an Arab husband.
He did look like a sad son man because he looked like he was mixed with something.
Yeah, he did. Hey, DC, you got the shit playing in the background. You just not even. Man, rid of you, man.
Hold on, man. I'm sorry. I've been having some troubles, man. Hey, no, I'm all right.
Get your shit together, man.
I'm all right.
The program, man. Like the motherfucker come up here like this fucking goddamn improv, man. I'm running a fucking show here, man. Shit.
Greg Hurst. This all happened about an hour ago. Our Jordan James joins us now live outside the mall with the very latest. And Jordan, what have you been able to learn?
Hey, Greg, I've been talking with people inside of the store. They tell us that it was some sort of commotion and escalated into a shooting about an hour ago. I'm going to step out of the way to give you a better look at what we're seeing out here. There's a heavy presence from law enforcement out here. Memphis Police, Shelby County Sheriff's Office, Bartlett Police. This scene has been like this for over the last hour. As I said, witnesses say they heard initially 4 shots followed by 4.
Hey, Nate. Nate says, give him a chance. Your show isn't professional by any means. Man, listen, man.
You bastards.
Huh?
Hit the like button, you bastards.
Yeah, this show is very professional, man. Extremely professional, man. I disagree.
I'll agree on the professional business. I watched that hour of time when you were just feeding videos to the guys doing the chat while you were dealing with your kid. Yeah, it's much more professional when you're on here.
Yeah, and I didn't say the vulgar shit that I was going to say earlier.
Do y'all agree with Nate? Do y'all agree with Nate that this show isn't professional, man? I think this show is professional, man. I think I'm very professional, man. I think I come on late, but y'all don't know what I deal with, man. To get on here, man. I could say fuck it and not even do the show some nights, man. The way I feel, the shit I'm going through, but I think we're very professional. But this fucking guy DC, man, like you guys gotta stop doing that. Coming on here with the fuck shit playing in the background. That shit drives me up a fucking wall, man. Go ahead.
Who is DC? I don't think has he been here before.
I don't know. It just drives me up a wall, man. When people come on here with that shit.
That's why I stay muted until I'm sure everything's ready to go.
Yeah, he's been trying to come up for the last hour, and this shit hasn't been connected. And he finally made it up, and he's fucking comes on, doesn't mute himself, shit playing in the background. It just fucking drove me up a wall, man.
Yeah,
I
wonder.
DC. I didn't mean to curse at you, man.
I wonder what he means by that. It's not professional. Like, what are you talking about? What do you mean?
I don't know, man. I ain't mad at him, man. Everybody has their opinions, man. But I think that dealing with all these people on the panel, man, I think this show go to another show where it's a bunch of people on the panel. See how that shit sound, man. It'd be more professional if it was just me up here by myself. But I got all these motherfuckers up here. But yeah, let's go.
5 more shots, and they described it as chaos out here, given because they didn't know what was happening at the time. We're still working to get more information from Memphis police. When I first got out here, I did see a helicopter that was hovering above the perimeter. At this point in time, just talking with people in the store, they're telling me that Memphis police is going store to store, escorting folks off of the property. At this time, we don't know what sparked the shooting, but I can tell you that it was very chaotic when I first got here. I saw several police officers walking around with long guns, just kind of showing the gravity of this situation. But things right now have sort of come to a halt out here. It appears that it's under control. We haven't heard that the threat is still active, but at this time, police are doing their best to try to secure this scene. Moments ago, I spoke with a woman and her friend who were leaving the mall. I do believe we have that sound. Take a listen.
We were in the store. We were getting our bearers. They were ringing them up, and then we thought somebody had dropped something, and then we heard a few more shots, and that's how we knew it was a guy.
Drop something?
Yeah, I mean, listen, man,
people kill me.
This situation, they live different lives, man. They live in a different world, man. This is a glider fucking chick. You talk about her hairstyle. She don't have the frizzy fucking shit that some men like. You know how those glider women when they fucking that frizzy fucking trashy ass hairdo.
When they dealing with us. Yeah.
I'd say she dropped about a dozen too many donuts.
Yeah, she just some regular glider chick that just living a glider life. And like a mall, you hear a loud sound. I mean, it couldn't be a shooting, so it'd have to be like she just doesn't live in that world, man. And salute to her. Stay out of it too, man. Don't have no beige babies, man.
We were in the store. We were getting our bearers. They were ringing them up, and then we thought somebody had dropped something, and then we heard a few more shots, and that's how we knew it was a gun. We kind of just stood there for a second. Then the coworkers took us in the back, made sure we were okay. They shut the gate, moved stuff in front of the door so they couldn't get to us, and that was pretty much it. And then
Johnny Reb, I think you and this girl be a cute couple, man.
Cute kids.
Hit one if you think we should try to find this girl and set her up with Johnny Reb.
Get a little Johnny going.
Yeah,
a baby Johnny Reb.
Johnny's running around, man.
Only if I can control how much food.
I mean,
goes
she's
in
all
the mouth
excited
so
that she's
she,
talking about.
That's the thing, dude. Just look at her.
You
Look
could
at
have
the
died.
size of her.
Bullet
she
could
can
have passed
cook.
through that wall. Could have hit you.
Yo, where's the shooting at? What city is
This
it
is
at?
Memphis. This is Wolf Chase Galleria, man. This Wolf Chase Galleria, man.
I went to Ole Miss, but I'm not anywhere near that area right now.
Oh, you went to Ole Miss? Okay, Johnny, which isn't y'all the Rebels?
Yeah,
that's where Johnny Reb.
I got Johnny Reb.
Johnny's a racist, man.
Right.
They have the rebel flag as the state flag of Mississippi, man. All this time, I ain't know Johnny was racist, man.
Right. Johnny wakes up to the Dixieland.
Oh, they had the rebel flag on before I even got there, and then they took away the Colonel Reb while I was there. So
Johnny's ringtone.
Yo, Johnny, sing Dixieland for us, brother.
I could play it. I was in the band, so they had that in the band, but I can't sing it.
Oh wow, Johnny's a musician, man. Wow, Johnny, you're gonna like my next song I drop on March 3rd, man. You're gonna love that my next country song, man. March 3rd, my next song's coming up. I think this is I'm very happy with this one. The video, everything I did, the production, the quality, the writing, everything. March 3rd, man. The next country song's coming out.
the cops showed up and they brought us out. Those girls deserve a raise. Yeah, they did really good.
And I mean, how many gunshots did you hear?
We heard like at least 3 or 4. I heard like 4 or 5.
Which one, Johnny, man? If you gun to your head, man, which one? Salute to Christy, man. Salute Christy in the building, man. Salute to you. With the gun to your head, Johnny, you can only have one. Which one, man?
I'll take the bullet.
Best choice there. Let's just get this over with.
I'll take the gun to the head.
Johnny, man, why you being mean, man? Stop being mean, man. What do you mean? Come on, Johnny, man. Which one, man? Come on, you have
Like
to
I
pick
said,
one.
the big bitch
I
can
don't
grab
know,
the cook.
90-day crash diet where they have 500 calories per day. Maybe.
Maybe.
I like this one right here. This one right here, man. She's a little bit more. If I had to choose, if I had to, I mean, and I'm talking about gun to my head. I take this one.
Yeah, I don't think she'd want to. She'd ask to go out as much.
Yeah, man. This one right here, man. She just a little, she's a little not my
Yeah,
type.
she's corn fed. She ain't poor enough.
Yeah.
Do y'all happen to know if anyone got hit or anything?
We heard there was blood on the top floor, but that was basically it.
And I understand that police also escorted you guys out.
Yes, sir.
So what's going on inside right now?
I guess they're looking for the suspect. I don't know. They're cleaning up blood. Quick cautions came up. Yeah.
And after something like this, what are the emotions like as you get ready to go home?
I'm kind of glad that I'm walking out today because I couldn't have been if I was anywhere closer to it.
And is it concerning given that this happened at a mall?
Yeah.
Please tell me how I can make it about me.
One in a million chances too. Like I never thought it would happen to me.
You're in Memphis. What do you expect?
And moments ago, I just saw a big group of people just run out of the mall, many of them going to their car. So at this point in time, again, we're still waiting to learn more information from Memphis police, but talking with witnesses, it was...
Well, they need that Scorpion squad back quick, man. God damn. This place turned to shit quick, man. Like
But you said
once you know nobody's watching,
the squad was gone, they're gonna catch hell.
Yeah.
And they need to bring these kind of
It's a
police
runaway
back.
train right now.
Those 5 some men wouldn't be having this shit.
Hell nah. Oh, here go. Let's see what the brother got to say, man.
Everybody ready? Yep.
Yeah,
All
ready.
right. 4:51 p.m. Officers responded to a shooting call here at the Wolf Chase Mall, 2700 North Germantown Parkway. 2 male shooting victims were located on the scene. One was transported to Regional 1 in critical condition. A second male was transported to St. Francis in Bartlett by private vehicle. There was also a female who was transported to St. Francis in Bartlett by private vehicle. She suffered a medical episode on scene. Preliminary information indicates that the shooting stemmed from an argument between 2 groups. Shots were fired.
Contest clues.
I love how when they talk about these groups, they don't want to describe what they look like. They don't want to describe the race, none of that stuff. It's like, well, how do we know what to look for if somebody in the loose, somebody saw something? You can't tell me what this person looked like?
I think in this case, though, like, it goes without saying. I mean, I think everyone knows an argument between 2 groups at a mall leads to shooting in Memphis.
Sunman.
Everyone knows who that is.
Well, to be fair, there's a slight
Atlanta
chance
was
it
the
could be us.
same way like 10 years ago.
You know what I'm saying? There's a slight chance it could be us. Let's be fair.
Nah,
but you know what? I don't see no other race in the world acting like we do. Nobody.
I don't think it could be on Britos because on Britos it's a different, like, the context clues would just be different. Not saying that it couldn't happen, but it would have manifested differently. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, not for sure. I think there's like a slight chance it could have been us, but realistically speaking, it was obviously some, man.
Yeah. Razzle says she's lucky she came across a gentleman rapist, or else it'd have been a real problem. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That girl. Yeah, she gets the Iron Woman hear me roar. She gets to go on her tour. She's gonna be on Good Morning America and everything, man. Talking about how she beat up the fucking Sunman that tried to assault her.
We have 1 male detained at this time.
Didn't even let him finish. It's kind of rude.
The suspects and the victims knew one another. The investigation is ongoing.
Where'd you find the suspect?
I actually don't have that right now, but they were located here on the scene.
And just talk about the massive presence out here. I know you have different agencies all out here.
Yes, and it just speaks the training that has been done. We're very thankful for Bartlett, Shelby County Sheriff's Office, and the ATF for their quick response. We were able to get them all cleared and secured very swiftly.
And immediately following the shooting, I mean, did the suspect, they leave the mall, or did y'all have to search for them?
We're still searching. The investigation is ongoing, so we're just leaving no stone unturned. They're combing the mall again. We're doing another protective sweep. But we're just thankful for everyone who came out to assist all of our law enforcement partners.
Talk to us about where you found some of the employees, because they were hiding all over the place.
Yes, so the mall has procedures in place for situations like this, and the employees at the mall did exactly what they were taught to do. They followed their drills, they closed their shops as they were supposed to, and exited out of doors like they were supposed to.
Now, who the fuck is that making all that fucking noise in the background, man? You gotta mute yourself, man, when you're not talking, man. Somebody like.
No, but it's sad that malls have to have a plan for dealing with the frequent mass shootings.
I think it's good though. I think anything that helps you deal with the sun problems we have in this country, man, is good, man. I'm all for it, man. Let's see. Oh, they're not done with this Tyree case, man.
Fallout to the events leading to Tyree Nichols' death. Right now, 2 Shelby County Sheriff's deputies are serving a 5-day suspension.
They have been identified as Jontavius Bowers and Jeremy Watkins. WREG's Jordan James again, and he has more on how this decision came about.
3 weeks after the Shelby County Sheriff's Office announced an internal investigation into 2 deputies that responded to Tyree Nichols' arrest. Jontavius Bowers and Jeremy Watkins have both been suspended for 5.
Why did it come on, man? These fucking guys showed up on the scene after the shit was done and they're getting suspended. This is racism, man. The fuck, why they doing this to these black people?
Damn.
Like, what the fuck is going on here, man? These fucking guys serving their community, man.
Man, I would have been pissed.
What the fuck are these guys getting in trouble for? This shit is getting out of control, man.
That responded.
We called it, though. We called it. We knew that it was.
That's those people in Memphis trying to save their jobs.
Yeah.
Arrest. Jontavius Bowers and Jeremy Watkins have both been suspended for 5 days for their actions on the night of January 7th. In documents released by the Shelby County Sheriff's Office, the duo is accused of breaking numerous policies, such as failing to notify dispatch or a supervisor that they responded to the call, along with not keeping their body-worn cameras activated.
These are policies and procedures that must be followed by our officers.
In his first on-camera interview since announcing the suspension, Sheriff Floyd Bonner addressed the criticism about the timing of the internal investigation, which didn't happen until the video was released publicly.
I understand why they did not contact us. They had 5 officers that was involved in a horrific occurrence. The deputies that walked on the scene walked in after the assault had occurred. And if I had known before then, we probably would have suspended him.
The sheriff tells WREG the 2 deputies went on their...
Suspend them for walking up after the fucking thing happened. So suspended them for responding.
Right. Well, what a piece of shit sheriff. Yo, but then they'll complain why cops are not responding. And why people don't want to become cops because of motherfuckers like him right here.
This shit is amazing, man. Hey, man.
We probably would have suspended him.
The sheriff tells WREG the 2 deputies went on their own accord to the scene, which is out of their patrol area.
We had no reason to be there. We were not called for an assist with MPD, and certainly we would have shown up if the case had warranted us being there.
Once on scene, surveillance footage shows the deputies standing around after Nichols was beaten. Several agencies fired personnel who responded.
So they showed up. They weren't called, but they saw because this was a big kid. This guy was missing for 7 minutes. He had broken away from the cops, and he was in a neighborhood missing for 7 minutes.
Right, they were chasing.
Yeah.
And there were 5 or 6 or 8 cop cars around there, all the radio activity, all the lights and everything else, and they stopped to maybe see do they need assistance.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly, and that's all it is.
Right, and by the time they got up, he was already he had already been dealt with. And then they rolled up on the scene. And they're like, "Hey, so you guys got everything under control?" They're like, hey, "Do we?"
yo, look, those 5 sons, man. I think they were wrong, but these 2, come on, give me a break.
Yeah, man. Like this shit is. I mean, like, what the fuck, man? I'm just glad these guys showed up
Wow.
after it was over. Because if they had showed up like a minute earlier, they'd be fucking fired too.
SCSO opted to suspend their deputies for 5 days.
They've been good officers here at the sheriff's office. They had no prior discipline. That was taken into account. I'm sure they're sorry that they showed up, and hopefully this will be a learning moment for them.
Reporting in Memphis, Jordan James, WREG, News Channel 3.
Only the 5 former MPD officers are facing criminal charges. Sheriff Bonner says his deputies are not expected to be charged criminally, and they're talking with the DA's office.
Yo, I fucking guarantee you this was a learning lesson for those cops.
Oh,
For those
hell
two,
yeah.
they not going to shit anymore. Why the fuck would they? To
Yeah,
get fucked?
this hurt policing in that area, man, a bunch, man. Oh, well, look, we got another. Memphis is on
Memphis
fire.
police need your help tonight finding the men responsible for kidnapping and robbing a man in East Memphis. WREG's Quimitra Wilborn spoke with neighbors who say some people in the neighborhood may be responsible for the crime.
At first glance, this may look like your typical bank transaction. A man pulls up to an ATM and withdraws money. The only problem is the money he's taking out isn't his, and the person in the truck is being held at gunpoint. Memphis police say earlier this month, the victim was pulling up to his home on Barron Avenue shortly after 1 a.m. According to police reports, a small gray car pulled up behind him, and 2 men got out armed with guns. One of the men reportedly hopped in the victim's truck and made him drive to an ATM on Lamar, while the other suspect followed closely behind in the gray car.
The young people are just doing their own thing.
This woman didn't want to.
She calls it doing their own thing. I told you we would be fine. We would be fine if you glad to take your hand off of us. Look at the way they talk about this stuff. The young people is just doing their own thing. No, fucking woman. This is terrorism. This is debauchery, degeneracy. This is fucking terror. It's not their own thing.
I'd rather it be our own twang.
Yeah, man.
People are just doing their own thing.
This woman didn't want to be identified. She says this sounds like the work of young people who may live in the area.
I don't really think they have a conscience of consequences of what you do. Everything you do, you're going, it's.
But this is a racist country, and the criminal justice system just swallows them up.
Why didn't you just say, you see that yellow house right there? They fucking live there.
This is the prison pipeline. How could kids? This is the thing that gliders. That's why I call you fucking gliders morons and shit. You listen. They talk about the prison pipeline and the system being unfair, and you gliders eat that shit up, and then out that same forked tongue, they say shit like, well, the kids don't know anything about consequences. They don't have no conscience of consequences. They don't. Both can't be fucking true, man. Both those things can't be true. 2 things can be true, but those 2 things can't be. No fucking way, man.
Have a conscience of consequences. You think they have a conscience of consequences of what you do. Everything you do, you're going, it's a consequence.
Once they arrived at the bank, Memphis police say the suspects forced the victim to give them the PIN number to his debit card. As you can see in this video, they then used that debit card to withdraw $400 from his bank account. MPD says after the transaction, the suspects threw the bank card at the victim and drove off, leaving him and his truck at the bank. Thankfully, he was not harmed.
Really too bad that you work and then when you retire and then you can't enjoy your neighborhood.
No reported arrests have been made.
You know what he
Reporting
should have
in East
done? The
Memphis,
same thing
Quimitra
happened to my
Wilborn.
wife the other night leaving the casino. You want to know what he should have done? Anybody?
Yeah.
All right, my wife was leaving the casino. She'd won a little bit of money. Her and my youngest boy were walking out. There's an Indian lady saying, I need a ride, I need a ride, I need a ride. My son said, no, sorry, can't help you. But the chick was with a dude. But the dude wasn't up there when she's asking for rides, see? So you say yes to her, now you got them both in the car with to deal with. And I'm not, my family knows better, plus they got money in their pocket. So my wife has her piece on her. They go get in the car. They get in, they're driving home. They feel like a truck's bothering them. I said, they call me and said, hey, we think we're being followed. I said, all right, well, just pull up either in front of the police station or the house. Which one do you want? She said, well, I'll pull up in front of the house. And I said, all right, I'll be sitting there. So I sat at the door with my pistol. And they turned off and went down Main Street. That's what they should have done.
I mean, in this case, this guy's just coming home at night. He probably not even think, probably a hard day's work, maybe an hombrito, coming home from a hard day's work, you know, and you just maybe slipping. Like, you're not always on guard like that. This is a pickup truck, right?
Feather, not dot. No, Subaru Outback.
You're talking about Prairie Patels, right? You have
yeah, Feather.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, listen, I mean, this guy got caught slipping. I think this one is more slip. I don't think this guy could have, done all that. Your family, your wife, she didn't get caught slipping. She was aware the whole time. So it's very hard to set up shit when you're slipping.
Then when you retire,
Subaru Outback screams liberal.
Oh yeah, I'm amazed I'm not a faggot. Oh, I probably can't say that.
No reported arrests have been made. Reporting in East Memphis, Kwame True-Wilborn, WREG News Channel 3.
Now, if you recognize these men, contact Crime Stoppers. That number 901-528-CASH.
Not for nothing, I told my cousin when I bought the Subaru Outback, he asked me how'd my mother take it. I said, how'd she take what? He said, you coming out as gay. So that was a rough one.
Wow.
You should have got a Kia.
Yeah, you know how that works.
I need that 4x4 bad.
I tell you what, Boulder, Colorado, lots and lots and lots of those Subaru Outbacks.
Oh yeah, I used to live by Boulder. I worked down there, and we used to go to Boulder like it was going to the zoo. You would go down to Boulder and watch the freaks. That was what you did on an afternoon. Now the whole fucking state is that way. It's ruined down there.
Let's see.
Just like Texas with Austin. Austin is now exploding, and the whole friggin' state's going blue. Blue.
Hey, but to that comment, some people are the real small heads.
That's true, man. Yeah, we the real ones, man. Facts.
The Shelby County District Attorney's Office met with the father of Darius Stewart, who was shot and killed by a Memphis police officer in 2015. WREG.
Oh shit, they hot, man. They picking up shit from 2015, man. God damn, that's 8 fucking years ago, man. Like, Jesus Christ, man. They coming after Memphis Police Department, man.
The Shelby County District Attorney's Office met with the father of Darius Stewart, who was shot and
tells
killed
you how
by
hard
Memphis
it is to
police
find the
officer,
stories about it.
a Memphis police officer in
No
2015.
shit, this is back. They had to
WREG
change this
investigator
to
Jessica
digital film. It's so fucking old.
Shot and killed by a Memphis police officer in 2015. WREG investigator Jessica Gertler explains what the DA has agreed to do with this case now.
I'm still fighting, trying to get justice for my son, which I shouldn't have to do, though.
Henry Williams and his attorney, Carlos Moore, met with the Shelby County District Attorney's Office this morning. Williams' son, Darius Stewart, was killed in 2015 by a Memphis police officer. The incident started with a traffic stop for a minor violation in Hickory Hill. Stewart, who was a passenger in the car, had juvenile warrants in another state. The officer caught
juvenile warrants in another state.
Passenger in the car had juvenile warrants in another state. The officer, Connor Schilling,
Probably
claimed he
Mississippi.
tried to take Stewart into custody, and a struggle ensued, part of it captured on a cell phone camera. He says Stewart
tried to take Stewart into custody, and a struggle ensued. Kid had warrants. The cop tried to take him into custody, and a struggle ensued.
Sounds like Dante Wright.
Struggle
Yeah.
ensued.
That's one thing
Part
about
of
the
it captured on a
1988
cell
video
phone
we looked
camera.
at. They actually listened and followed the police's commands, so they actually got arrested and then set free without causing all this commotion.
Yeah, but those guys were real gangsters, though. Like, they just like gangbangers. They know the routine. Like, it's if you just a gangbanger, you know the routine, man. Rinse and repeat. A lot of these fucking guys are like, crackheads and half of crackheads and unks and winos and transients and teens. They're not like real gangsters. The real gangster ain't trying to fucking be fighting in the middle of the street with a cop. That's beneath him in a way. To a degree, it's kind of beneath him.
Into custody, and a struggle ensued, part of it captured on a cell phone camera. He says Stewart grabbed his handcuffs, then reached for his duty belt. The officer fired 2 shots. Stewart's family did.
Okay, sounds cut and dry to me, man. I mean,
Suicide by cop.
What's the fuss about, man? I don't get it, man. What's the big fuss about? Oh, it's a white guy, and the fucking kid is
Bullets don't discriminate.
The kid is a saint. The kid is a saint, and the cop is white.
Maybe they need to
Officer
rap
Connor
about it,
Schilling.
saying, "Yeah, we'll run from police. We'll get away from the police, but when they get us under there, we'll stop. We'll go mess them up in court. We'll rap about that instead of let's fight the police. Like, no, that doesn't work."
Hey, maybe Dante Ryder and this guy are playing 2-man spades, right now as we speak.
Yeah, man.
Busting out some
They
dominoes.
did try to take Stewart into custody, and a struggle ensued, part of it captured on a cell phone camera. He says Stewart grabbed his handcuffs, then reached for his duty belt. The officer fired 2 shots. Stewart's family didn't buy the officer's claims, and despite former District Attorney Amy Wyrick's recommendations, the grand jury chose not to indict the officer on voluntary manslaughter.
I did ask that DA Mulroy and his Justice Review Unit look into the Darius Stewart matter once again.
See, when District Attorney Steve Mulroy took office, he created the Justice Review Unit to review cases to see if there were any wrongdoings.
They are truly independent, Jessica. They don't work with law enforcement on a regular basis.
He recently explained they also review officer-involved fatality cases, including Tyree Nichols' case.
They are able to render a truly independent, objective analysis.
Under state law, the statute of limitations ran out for voluntary manslaughter.
Based on what they have seen so far, they do not believe that they will be successful with securing an indictment for murder, second-degree murder, or a first-degree murder.
But Moore says the unit only looked at the 918-page report and evidence gathered by the TBI.
We fought this case for about 4 years. We have tons of witness statements and medical opinions that they have not been privy to, they have never seen.
Moore says he'll hand
What
all of that over
witnesses?
to DA Mulroy.
You have cops. You have cameras. You have no other witnesses.
The other guy who was in the car with him. Salute to Muramasa. Muramasa says in Brooklyn, in the small hat communities, you never see shootings, robberies among their young people at all. Families have both parents at all times. Meanwhile, some communities are war zones.
I do believe after he reviews that, if it was me, I would present the case to the grand jury, and I would ask for a second-degree murder indictment.
Jessica Gertler, WREG, News Channel 3.
The district attorney's office has agreed to review the information Moore sends and say they are committed to following up after that review.
Jesus Christ. Just fucking with cops, man. Shit, man.
They are meant to keep you safe, but home security systems could be vulnerable to attacks from criminals.
WREG's Marcus Hunter finds out how you can protect your home and your family.
It's no secret. Home break-ins and car thefts in Memphis are on the rise. According to the Memphis Police Department's data hub, there have already been more than 3,000 reports of thieves stealing items from cars or stealing the car altogether this year. Now, criminals are using new tactics so they don't get caught in the act, blocking your Wi-Fi signal, rendering your security cameras and security systems useless.
Wow.
Humbritos.
Oh, yeah, you think so? He says it's above the Sunman's pay grade. I mean, I don't know. That Kia shit was pretty ingenious that the Sunman was doing. I don't know, man.
That's a TikTok video and a power cord that everybody has. Wi-Fi blockers? Really?
Okay, man. We'll see, man. These
football gliders.
These guys are pretty tall, man. These don't look like no Well, maybe they are. Let's see.
Home break-ins and car thefts in Memphis are on the rise. According to the Memphis Police Department's data hub, there have already been more than 3,000 reports of thieves stealing items from cars or stealing the car altogether this year. Now, criminals are using new tactics so they don't get caught in the act, blocking your Wi-Fi signal, rendering your security cameras and security systems useless.
Some of the younger people use their phone before they come past my surveillance cameras, and then the image is just not there on playback.
The woman who does not want to be identified because she's scared says due to crime in her neighborhood, she started to pay even more attention to what her security cameras were catching. She was surprised to see they were not working when crimes were being committed.
Usually becomes prevalent when someone's committing an act that they don't want recorded. And it happens pretty often.
So she went on the internet to see what could be causing the issue. That's where she learned about Wi-Fi signal jammers. The devices are small and cheap. The Federal Communications Commission says it is unlawful to advertise, sell, distribute, import, or otherwise market jamming devices to consumers in the United States. However, we found several online suppliers. The FCC also says the use of phone jammers, GPS blockers, or other signal jamming devices designed to intentionally block, jam, or interfere with authorized radio communication is a violation of federal law.
Yeah, but these guys are already breaking in people's homes and breaking in people's cars. I don't think they give two shits about the law. So, like, these people fundamentally don't understand how criminals think.
Right.
Yeah, but federal law could trump the woke DAs in the specific
Yeah, that's
areas.
true. But the federal part, they're woke too, Johnny. They're pretty woke too. Hey, and not only that, but
Especially with Biden's administration.
Exactly. The Sunmen here, they use computers to take dodges. You know, like the Dodge Chargers and Challengers. They use computers to unlock it and turn it on.
Yeah,
So it could be something.
This could be something. This definitely could be something.
We wanted to learn more, so we went to Dillard Door and Entrance Control and spoke with the president and CEO, Chris Bird.
And Ring cameras are convenient. They're very convenient, but the only way that they communicate is Wi-Fi. And so if Wi-Fi is defeated, those particular cameras are down.
Bird knows home security can be a bit of a chess game with criminals. He says the best way to protect your home and property is to stay a few steps ahead of the bad guys.
Our recommendation is always to have two means of communication. And that means an old school wired security system with a cellular backup.
He says a wired system will cost you more, but they are harder to disarm.
If that cable is cut, then you still got a cell backup. But a hardwired system is still the best.
We reached out to MPD and they said they have not received any reports of any criminals using signal blockers. They also declined an interview. Memphis City Councilman Chase Carlisle says if signal blockers are being used in Memphis, it should be taken seriously.
If that is occurring, we need to verify and validate that that's the case and see what the city policy is and what the Constitution allows.
The woman we spoke to says over the last 2 years, she has reached out to the FCC, MPD, elected officials, and even the post office to file complaints. She says Councilman Carlisle's secretary is the only person who has gotten back to her because she does not feel like she's being taken seriously. She is afraid to be inside of her own home.
Many of us are afraid, we don't know, or we're just so doggone weary and worn down. When we contact you, return our calls, reach out to us, please.
The FCC says before filing a complaint, please be sure to troubleshoot your equipment and connectivity issues in accordance with manufacturer and service provider recommendations. In Memphis, Marcus Hunter, WREG News.
Wow, Memphis is a fucking shithole, man. Give me another city, man.
Oklahoma City.
OKC?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna roll out, but I put a link in the back chat. There was a Sunman here who did a armed robbery, and he stayed on scene because he was eating his victim's chicken. So when the cops got there, he was there eating the chicken. Take him in.
I just heard a story yesterday about a woman. She was a lunch lady and she stole 11,000 cases of chicken wings from the school district. It was worth $1.5 million.
Yeah, we did that. We did that.
Okay. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, she was
OKC 14.43%.
14.3%. Whew. That's a huge number, man. Let's see.
Who can forget the tragedy that unfolded last summer involving 3 Oklahoma County deputies? One died, another hurt. And tonight, for the first time, we hear from the 3rd deputy that day.
Sergeant Bobby Swartz and 2 of his fellow deputies were serving an eviction notice when they were caught in a gun battle with the suspect. Sergeant Swartz died in that crossfire.
The nightmare finally ended when authorities took the suspect down at the main gate at Tinker Air Force Base. And now, a year later, we're hearing from the deputy, a woman who hasn't spoken publicly until now. Here's News 4's Ashley Moss.
We spoke with Deputy Melody Norton, who said she tried to take cover but was under constant gunfire as she tried to hide and get help for her fellow deputies. But suddenly, she heard a voice behind her.
White male driver.
I really felt in my heart that he was going to come over there where we were. We met evil that day for sure.
Suddenly separated from her fellow deputies in that ambush with no way to get back to them, Deputy Melody Norton said she knew the man was on the hunt specifically for her. She was his prey.
And that's exactly what he said, that he was hunting that girl. He knew I was out there.
Dodging the crossfire, she tried ducking behind vehicles.
He made sure he hit every one of those in an effort to find me. And there was really nowhere for me to go.
She tried waiting for a break in the gunfire, but it kept coming.
There's multiple weapons on him.
Until in the chaos,
Hey, shots fired, shots fired.
At a split second, I hear one say, "Now, run." I run across the street, get cover behind a brick wall.
She heard a voice in the distance coming to her aid.
And he said, "I'm going to get you out of this." And he's actually trying to put himself in front of me to guard me. And I kept saying, no, I'm the one with the vest. And he says, "No, I'm helping you."
Deputy Norton said the man's selfless decision to guide her to safety allowed her to radio for help.
I just depended on him. He was between praying to God and...
Well, isn't she a cop, though?
That's what I was about to say. This is why lady cops are a fucking joke. Absolute bullshit. If she would have just been a man, then wouldn't have to need that civilian.
It seemed like she's talking
Right,
about...
but he should have had a vest.
Well, he was just a guy.
Oh, he's not a cop?
No, it was just some dude who apparently was doing her
Just a
job.
random shopper trying to play fucking superhero. Oh,
This
I
is
thought it was a cop.
bizarre.
I'm sorry.
It's fucking bizarre, man.
All right, give me the boot. I'm fucking done.
hunting that girl. He knew I was out there.
Dodging the crossfire, she tried ducking behind vehicles.
He made sure he hit every one of those in an effort to find me. And there was really nowhere for me to go.
She tried waiting for a break in the gunfire, but it kept coming.
There's multiple weapons on him.
Until in the chaos,
Hey, shots fired, shots fired.
At a split second, I hear one say, "Now, run." I run across the street, get cover behind a brick wall.
she heard a voice in the distance coming to her aid.
And he said, "I'm going to get you out of this." And he's actually trying to put himself in front of me to guard me. And I kept saying, no, I'm the one with the vest. And he says, "No, I'm helping you."
Deputy Norton said the man's selfless decision to guide her to safety allowed her to radio for help.
I just depended on him. He was between praying to God and Juan being there. That's all I had at that moment.
Today, she is forever grateful to that man. He helped keep her alive.
He is just a regular person and just felt like God.
This is fucking bizarre, man.
It's the same thing in the military. All women do is to depreciate combat effectiveness. Period.
What I heard in her radio call was pure panic. And I agree. In the military, it's like men will defend her to the detriment of the whole unit rather than actually defend the unit as a whole.
But that's
And it's because we're hard fucking wired that way.
Yeah, that's biology though, Johnny. Like
It's caveman shit.
Yeah, that's biology. Like if you see a fucking woman like in a man's situation, a man's hunting a woman and you got a gun too, you're gonna try
I
to
know.
protect her from the man.
That's exactly what my point is. That's why women shouldn't be in frontline combat positions, because the men will abandon their training to protect the woman.
This man abandoned just walking by, apparently. I mean, he wasn't at all involved and was risking his life, giving her clues and shit to save her. It's wild.
Yeah, he had better awareness and training than she did.
Yeah.
Why wasn't she returning fire? What the fuck is she doing behind a wall?
That's what I was wondering, because it doesn't sound like she did anything but make radio calls and cry.
Well, I mean, shit got thick, man. This wasn't a fucking a cat stuck in a tree, man. This is real shit, man. So she
This
reverted
wasn't a
to her
crazy
body.
Sun man either. This was somebody who actually aims.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She reverted back to her biology, and the guy reverted back to his biology. I mean, everybody just
Exactly. Biology overrules training sometimes.
Yep.
God put him in the right place at the right time to help me, and I'm just forever grateful for that. An angel sent from heaven for sure.
Now we've got even more of that
She needs to
emotional
be
interview
typing up
online.
reports.
K4.com.
Yeah, so what happens the next time she has to do her fucking job? What, does he have to be there then too?
Well, she's got to find another one. That one checked out.
He was an angel though, so it's like, I mean, you know,
Yeah.
he's an angel from God. Okay, here we go. Another female cop.
This was in boxes.
He's an angel now.
Light for the first.
This was in boxes.
Seeing light for the first time in decades, Carolyn Filson still marvels at the collection of photographs and newspaper clippings she rediscovered after a move back to Oklahoma City.
Got all this stuff out of the attic.
Her aunt kept most of it. She inherited the balance and stored it away, buried until she opened the boxes and started reading about the grandmother born in the 1800s who later ran a rooming house in the segregated Oklahoma City of 100 years ago.
This is going to all be my dad's side of the family.
Her grandfather, Charlie, was a waiter at the old Huckins Hotel. Inside a small envelope, a 100-year-old card that he had to carry on him.
If you were a black person and you were out at night, you had to carry this card with you. Don't be out after sundown.
Holy shit, that's real?
Yeah, they were called sundowner towns back in the 20s, 30s.
I've always heard about that. I didn't know that was real.
It says C.H. Filson.
And it was the same way on the reservations out here in the 70s and 80s. If you were white, you did not want to be on the res after dark.
Wow.
Well, to be fair, they probably had the same ID requirements for gliders, but they didn't save it and memorialize it like the black guys did.
It says C.H. Filson, having obtained permission of the military authorities to pursue his duties as waiter.
Just to be a fucking waiter.
To remain upon the streets.
Yeah, this during World War One. You got to remember, World War One ended in 1970.
This is 1923.
All right, just after.
Wow.
Maybe it was actually on a military base, or
It says there is a military base in Oklahoma City that's it's a pretty big one.
Has it been there since that long ago?
I would imagine so.
So he had that card to come on base.
there were a lot
think
more
so.
smaller military bases way back when, before they consolidated them all in these big bases.
Oh yeah, that was back to everything, Army Air Corps. There's places everywhere.
Yeah, it's Tinker Air Force Base. That's like where they work on the U-2 bombers now, or the stealth ones, whatever they're called. That's the only place in
We
the
had
world.
some of those Japanese camps over in Casper.
The internment camps?
Like this doesn't seem like what she's selling this as. It seems like something different than what she's.
No, she's selling it as I have to have this license or the white people will get me. No, that's a military pass to come on base.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
This is not what she told us. This was, but nobody's going to challenge her on this. I think she's fucking lying. I think this woman's lying.
Yeah, this is the old bait and switch deal.
Now listen, this history is great. you don't have to lie. You listen to her how terrible her family had it back in the early 1900s in the old slave South.
It was the Dust Bowl. Everybody did back
Seeing
then.
light for the first time in decades, Carolyn Filson still marvels at the collection of photographs and newspaper clippings she rediscovered after a move back to Oklahoma City.
Got all this stuff out of the attic.
Her aunt kept most of it. She inherited the balance and stored it away, buried until she opened the boxes and started reading about the grandmother born in the 1800s who later ran a rooming house in the segregated Oklahoma City.
So her grandmother was born in 1800 and ran a rooming house.
Yeah, but look at how they're all dressed. Like, they're all well dressed. They have paintings and photos of themselves. They own stuff. They all seem pretty well to do.
Their own property. I mean, it runs the rooming house.
Yeah.
Of 100 years ago.
This is going to all be my dad's side of the family.
Her grandfather, Charlie, was a waiter at the old Huckins Hotel. Inside a small envelope, a 100-year-old card that he had to carry on him.
If you were a black person and you were out at night.
Stop lying.
You had to carry this.
That is not what that is. I'm sorry.
That is not what that is. Either she's lying or there's another.
That's what she's been told it means, or she's lying.
Yeah, she doesn't
know how fucking Google works.
Yeah, she's been told about like sundown towns, and she sees this card, and she knows that she won't be challenged too. Like,
now, don't get me wrong. A friend of my mom's marched with King in Louisiana back in, what was it, 59 or 63, some shit like that. And that is to go on. There were sundown towns, but they didn't have a permit. That's to come on military base.
It absolutely is. It's even signed by the commanding officer, and it says to perform his duties at 12 a.m. in pursuant of such duties for the commanding officer. Yeah, you're right.
If he was a dependent, it would have had a picture on it.
Yeah, all right, let me move on.
With you. Don't be out after sundown.
Among the other artifacts, a 1925 Douglas High School yearbook, some of her aunt's things. But the balance contained pictures and news clippings about her own father, who signed on to the Oklahoma City Police Force in the summer of 1940.
So her father was a cop. Her grandmother owned property. Her dad was a waiter and in the military. And her father, he was a cop.
So this is just an episode of Who Do You Think You Are? This is just a rich family.
Yeah, that owning a rooming house, you were well-to-do.
No, this is a normal family.
Yeah.
This is not a rich family. This is a normal family. These people are not rich. These people are just regular Sun people from back in those days, man.
Any pictures to say how big it was? Because some big old Victorian houses have like 10 rooms.
Yeah, that's a big house.
Contained pictures and news clippings about her own father, who signed on to the Oklahoma City Police Force in the summer of 1940, and who likely became the city's first black detective in 1944.
He lived here in the community. He worked here in the community.
Detective Leslie.
Look at the cop.
Everyone in that photo is black.
They had a segregated police force.
Oh, okay.
And he made detective. I mean, seriously.
I don't mean to talk over everybody. That's about the same time my grandfather got here. He was 17 and 42. And he came over before he was 1 year old. And my grandfather's grandfather, who raised him, would ride horses all the way out to Wyoming, gather more horses, and drive everything back to upstate New York to sell them. That was what he did. That was one trip a year because it took that long. If you did 2 trips, you'd kill horses. So until the trains made it out here, that's what he did for a job. Now, do you want to live in a rooming house or sleep on the fucking dirt all year? Maybe be home 4 months of the winter.
Salute. Chelsea, a.k.a. Chum, says, do you watch Black Conservative Perspective? Check out the first minute of the bodybuilder vid he put out today. Some wrestling show women picks a man to fight. Oh, okay. I'll check. Yeah, I watch him, man. He's pretty cool, man. Yeah, he does a good job, man. Salute to Black Conservative Perspective, man. But yeah, this whole story of like, woe is me. We was running around in tattered rags, and the white man was chasing us through the countryside with pitchforks and torches, and we had the warm water fountain, and shit wasn't a bed of roses. I get it.
That terrible shit wasn't until the 50s and 60s.
But they're trying to. They always try to they overdo it. These Sun people were fine.
Do you know who kept black people armed during this period of time? Can anybody guess what fraction of society kept black people armed all the way
Republicans,
up till today?
2A activists.
The NRA. And I fucking hate the NRA because that dipshit LePew, but never mind. But the NRA kept them armed.
Leslie Filson and his partner took charge of the city's Near East Side and ran it for the next 20 years.
He was responsible for the community.
Detective Filson didn't bring home too many stories about his work, but they found their way nevertheless in the form of quarreling couples who yielded to his counsel on their own front porch and kids out late who found their way home thanks to him.
And they were like, oh, we didn't even tell him where we live. He knew where they live. He knew where people live. He'd just pick you up and take you home.
Les Filson was a quiet supporter of the city's protests against segregation. He kept the peace at a time when it truly needed keeping.
He was definitely for what Clara Luper did because he and Clara Luper were some of the best of friends.
Filson retired from the police department to work investigations for the local district attorney. He died suddenly at the age of 62 when Carolyn was just 16. Still, so many questions left unanswered.
I do wonder. I wonder what he would think about this or that.
But so many others preserved, left for her to discover as clues in her own kind of investigation of a past she's only now beginning to fully appreciate.
This is a great story. This woman comes from great people, resourceful people, people who did the best they could, who were upwardly mobile in career in society, and she's reduced it to look at this card he had to carry around when he could, because he was black and he couldn't go nowhere without this card, because you know how black people eat.
Well, I loved how they framed it, where he dealt with domestic disputes where they would just listen to him and all that kind of stuff. They were probably listening to him because he was taking care of that crazy son man there that was the
he was in charge of that community. He was a fucking detective that knew everybody and everybody's business.
This whole notion
and their children.
Yeah.
This notion that if like you're a black cop and you show up on the scene and it's a white criminal, like the criminal like can basically like arrest you, like that's bullshit. Like it's horse shit. There were certain areas where black cops couldn't jurisdict over white people, but that was very long ago. By the time the 60s roll around, black cops are everywhere, man. Like it's just they love the fucking. Some people love slavery and Jim Crow. They love that.
And where they didn't have black cops, that was the high class Democrat areas.
Exactly. Where the Democrats were, the Dixiecrats. Let's see what else is going on in Oklahoma City.
Nearly 200 Oklahoma students learned valuable lessons today at the Oklahoma History Center by realizing the dream of many of our state's most influential Black leaders and activists. It was a way to share the stories of our past with our future.
Eager minds filtered through the doors of the Oklahoma History Center Saturday, touring the Realizing a Dream exhibit, celebrating Oklahoma's Black history. For students like Jasper Gaga, it was a valuable learning experience.
I hate this story already.
Talk about my culture. 5th through 12th grade students from across the metro were invited to tour the exhibit this Black History Month. Nearly 200 kids came to learn about some of Oklahoma's most significant Black leaders. Musician JB helped coordinate the tour.
I think at that point, we know that it's our responsibility to make sure that this is something that, kids have access to. History, Black history in America is everybody's history.
History that the Oklahoma Historical Society preserves. so it will stay present in the lives of this generation. Oklahoma City Public School Superintendent Sean McDaniel says his district wanted to make sure students were aware of this educational opportunity.
I think it's critical for kids to understand the history, the plight, the contributions of their family members, their ancestors, how different people from different cultures, different walks of life made a difference in Oklahoma and around the world.
McDaniel also says today's educational experience helped adults just as much as it did the kids.
I was there like 3 weeks ago and that wasn't there, so they obviously only have it up for Black History Month. It's not that important to them. That's messed up.
I mean, Black History Month, there's a lot of shit that's going to disappear on March 1st. So it's like,
Yeah, it's all boring white people and Indian stuff. They take all that stuff down as soon as they can. It's ridiculous that they're pretending they care.
yeah, I mean, they have to, like, it's kind of like you have to care. Like, it's like a national holiday month. You can't, like, if you're white, like, you gotta fucking play along with this shit.
No, I think they should care all year long. I mean, it's people like the rest of us, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but like the month makes it. The fact that it's in the month makes it. Oh, look what we have here.
I think Morgan Freeman said
Actually, some
best.
good.
What, you want me to get my history down to just a whole month?
The shortest
Black
month of the
history is
year.
Actually,
American
some good
history,
news
right?
today about your safety in Oklahoma City. Crime rates in the metro continue their steady decline over recent years. News 4's Austin Brissett looks at some reasons why.
Crime is trending downward. It has been for several years now. Obviously, we're happy to see that.
Oklahoma City Mayor David Holt tweeting the encouraging news of dropping crime over the past decade here in Oklahoma City. In 2013, there were roughly 8 crimes per 1,000 people. That's dropped to about 5 in 2022. Property crimes are also down from about 133 per 1,000 households to roughly 74. And there are a variety of reasons for it.
Some of them probably socioeconomic, but there's also, at least in this community, a very good partnership with our citizens. We are very well funded. We get amazing equipment that helps us do the things we do here. And we've always had real strong community support here.
Knight points out there have been crime spikes despite the downward trend. There was a little upward surge in 2018.
Yeah.
Knight says with the crime they do see here in the city, the driving factor is generally drugs.
And whether it's
Man, they took those numbers right after COVID, so people are still in their houses, so you're not going to be robbing them. Like, they jumped from 2013 to 2022. What was it in 2018, 2017 when people weren't home and were, getting robbed every day? That's cherry picking numbers.
burglaries, robberies, things along those lines, assaults. A lot of shootings are drug related, especially drive-by shootings.
But gun violence is a continued threat statewide, including suicides and accidental shootings. There are over 700 gun deaths in an average year. But in Oklahoma City, the murder rate is trending lower.
We've been very fortunate to see it going down, especially in the area of persons crimes, which is assaults, homicides, things like that. But anyway, hope that crime trend continues.
Austin Brissett, Oklahoma's News 4.
That would be nice if it does. The Oklahoma City City Council had a budget workshop to discuss crime and its cost. There's a very real price tag associated with gun violence when you consider police investigations.
I wish they'd interview our sexy ass sheriff, man. You got to see her. She is something else.
Oh, really?
For real. But yeah, just yesterday there was an 11-year-old girl who got shot in the face by her mom's gun was in her purse and just some kids playing around the kitchen table. So gun accidents and stuff happen here every single day.
Wow.
She's fine, by the way. They said that she was going to make a full recovery. She didn't die, but yeah.
Wow. Wow. Give me another city.
Somebody else pick one. I picked OKC.
I'm Battle Elf says part of the reason the crime is down is because they have constitutional carry.
Yeah, yeah. People carry like just in restaurants around here. People open carry everywhere.
Yeah, open carry.
I see Louisville. And Las Vegas.
Open carry only works as a deterrent when the Southern population is very small. Open carry is a disaster in places like Tennessee, Texas, where there's a large pockets of Southern people. Open carry does not have the effect you think it has on the population that commits most of the crime.
Did y'all hear the story about the guy who was robbing like a fast food restaurant, and one of the customers just gunned him down on his way out the door, gave everybody back their money, and left? It was just a couple weeks ago.
You're talking about the Houston Taqueria shooting.
The Taqueria.
Yeah, the first 8 shots were probably good. The 9th shot, definitely questionable with the shooting him after picking up the false gun.
Yeah, it's just like when that guy was defending his pharmacy and killed that kid, but he shot him after he was on the ground.
Yeah.
So
college campuses to.
Okay.
Go ahead, man.
I was just gonna ask, like, you keep saying Sun people. That means Black people, African Americans, right?
Right.
Why? Like, what do you mean by that? Are you saying that Black people are more violent, or?
It's basically
I'm not
code words for YouTube so that he doesn't get demonetized.
Okay,
as easily
okay, I'm sorry.
Or such.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to fuck up your monetization. I'm just asking. Like, I'm kind of new to the show, but I'm just like, poverty is what drives crime. It doesn't matter what color you are. If you're hungry, you will do more extreme things to get what you need.
Maybe we need to visit rural Kentucky, rural Tennessee.
So are you seeing are the crimes that you're seeing, are they related to people trying to get food?
No, but they're related to people who are poor and who come from poverty and who don't. I'm not going to say don't know any better, but are too.
Hold on. Yeah. How do you know that the people who are doing these crimes are poor?
Because I've not been an upstanding citizen my entire life. So basically everybody I've known who was a criminal was also poor. And I was in juvenile detention, all those places I've been around. And I know that none of those people come from money, because if you come from money, you can pay your way out of it.
So you're saying that the people who are doing the crime, the violent crime in America,
mm-hmm.
they're doing it because they're poor.
They're doing it because of because of poverty, not because they are poor, because they want money necessarily. Like, most people just come up violent because they're raised in poverty, and that just kind of happens. Like, your dad is more likely to be violent and beat the shit out of you if he's got a terrible dead-end job and is just stressed about, paying the bills all fucking day.
Okay, I will agree with you if it's as far as property crime and domestic violence crime, beating around,
drug
that
use.
kind of thing. But when it
Absolutely.
comes down to killing, that is a Sun issue.
Why?
Well, I don't. I'd rather just show you, because it's really hard to explain this to you, because you seem like you got it all figured out. So
no, not at all. I'm asking questions.
Right, but you gotta figure it out.
Okay.
Let's just move along.
College campuses to middle schools, Black student union organizations have served as safe havens for students of color.
WOKY's Alexis Matthews learned more about how Kentucky's largest school district is building community in school and across the city through BSU.
As part of the JCPS Racial Equity Plan, there are 50 Black student union organizations across the district. And while organization leaders say it promotes cultural awareness and education, students say it simply gives them a sense of belonging. The Black Student Union has lifted Black issues and Black people since the 1960s. It's a legacy that BSU chapters across Jefferson County public schools are continuing decades later.
Now we're well over 1,000 students across the district. The events of 2020 have really played a role in not only the students having a space and wanting to talk about these issues, but also I think with staff members.
BSU is meant to empower students through school events such as cultural fairs spotlighting Black businesses or community projects that address the food desert in West Louisville, spearheaded by Wagner High School students.
And we're shining light down there to see if we can start a nonprofit space so people can come in, learn how to cook, get fresher resources.
Senior LaBryce Burns is the BSU president at Wagner. It's the third smallest JCPS school, with 70% of the student population being minorities.
Now, do you think these people are poor?
Not necessarily. I don't know. I mean, I think that they probably aren't like food insecure, but I don't think that they all own jet skis either.
So you have to own jets. Hold on. So hold on. If you're not rich, you're poor.
Yeah, basically. I mean, it feels that way more and more. Like, I own my house, but I don't have a lot of expendable or disposable income. I own my house because of a government grant that I signed up for.
So you're a candidate to be out doing drive-bys because
Possibly. I mean, I can't afford a $500 emergency.
But what would that have? What would that have to do with you carjacking somebody, or doing a drive-by on somebody that you had an issue with?
Well, I mean, like the people that I came up with were hardcore.
No.
Well, me, I'm not a violent person. I'm not. I don't see a way to make money from shooting somebody. I've just never seen that. But everybody that I've ever known.
How does it tie in? How do these things tie in to
poverty?
Poverty.
Because poverty breeds violence. It just does. I mean, there's a whole lot that goes into it. But basically, if you come up poor and feeling oppressed, and were you raised with money? Like, do you come from a good family? If you don't mind me asking.
I mean, I think I come from a good family. Yes, I mean.
Okay, I don't. Like,
okay.
My family. So it's just kind of, I guess it's just kind of something I've always been around, but never really had to define necessarily. Everybody I've ever known is violent, and I think that is.
Everybody you've ever known is violent. And you
basically, yeah.
What were the demographics where you grew up at?
I'm from a really small town, so I've only ever had one Black friend, just from a lack of there being anybody of color around, because I'm from a very small town. Like, my graduating class was of 9 people. So, yeah, I've never known a Jew or anything like that. A bunch of Indian people and white people.
So you were in a town with a bunch of Indians and a bunch of whites.
Yeah.
And everybody was violent. So what was the murder rate in your town?
Not a murder rate, but fighting constantly. Like, we weren't killers. It was just constant fighting.
So you weren't killers, but you were just constantly fighting.
Yeah.
Okay. But no one killed anybody.
Not until later. Like, it got a lot worse after I left. I can't explain why. Everybody joined the Irish mob and fucking went to prison, and I don't know what happened after I left my hometown, but yeah, shit got a lot worse.
Okay. All right. Let me move on.
Yeah.
With 70% of the student population being minorities.
A lot of our students live in the West End. Our school community here has a lot of students who are bused in from the West End. So we tend to focus on a lot of issues that deal with those communities.
And solving those issues does not require a student to be Black. The chapter's overseer, Laura Motley, says BSU is...
Chapter's overseer, oh God.
not a divisive organization, and students who are not of color are encouraged to join. They can offer ideas, perspective, and gain a wealth of knowledge and awareness that they can use after high school.
High school's for 4 years, but for the rest of your life, if you can take the things that you learn in our Black History Club and our organization, I think we will win.
Winning for members of Black student unions is also making a difference in creating a more complete sense of community.
Do you see these all these programs and just like kind of like just constant programs and care packages and goodies and
Mm-hmm.
free stuff that these kids get? Does that do you factor that into their wealth, or does that not factor into the so-called wealth? Like
Almost
if
like
I
a sense of privilege, you mean? Like they
no,
have.
like
Okay.
if I'm a 17 and I live in a place, right?
Mm-hmm.
Live in an apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And so that would make me poor and that would make me prone to crime, right? But
I mean, if you're drug
there's
addicted and if you come from a violent family, then probably, yeah. Like
but
those are just things that go hand in hand.
okay, let me you gotta
Okay.
let me finish, please. Um like say these kids come from a poor apartment complex, right?
Yeah.
But the mom gets X amount of dollars for groceries every month.
Yeah.
Um, there's a food pantry that gives her free, like noodles and
Mm-hmm.
rice and canned goods, and her pantry would make you fucking jealous where you're from, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Right, and the kids get free books from the time they're little kids.
Yeah.
Christmas comes, they get free coats.
Yep.
First day of school comes, they get free school supplies, free book bags, free haircuts, free hairdos.
Yeah.
Um,
Somebody brings them a turkey on Thanksgiving. They don't even have to leave the house. Yeah.
for Thanksgiving, a free gifts for Christmas, and it's just throughout the whole year. It's just like bombarded with free stuff, activities that normal people would pay for, computer
Yeah.
room, studio, things that program learned trade schools, different things that people would pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for.
Yeah.
They free. You know what I'm saying? Does that do you factor that into their wealth, or is that just nothing?
Well, I mean, I think that like grants and stuff, as far as like, scholarships or whatever, I think that's pretty few and far between, aren't they? I mean, it's not like they're giving a grant to everybody in that union. It's going to be a few of those kids, if any.
If any of these black kids scores 1,000 on their SAT, they're getting into that school before a white kid that does 1,400. You know that, right?
No, I didn't know that.
In a tiger, an Asian kid who just gets a perfect score. Any one of these kids gets a 980, they're going to be a top candidate for any school.
Because you're saying like a recruiter is going to see them as an underdog and want that hero story, or what?
That's the rules. They have quotas for
Yes, they do.
for black kids. Black kids, these schools want diversity, so they're looking for diversity. So the black students get in with lesser grades and lesser test scores.
You think that's like associated with white guilt, basically, because people want to bring them up socioeconomically, like we owe them a favor, maybe?
No. I'm
Okay.
talking about your poverty thing.
Okay.
Like the opportunities, like to go to school for free. What's the biggest school where you're from?
OU,
College.
OSU.
OSU. Okay, Oklahoma State. Like one of these kids can get to Oklahoma State with a 3.0 and 980 SAT and a full ride for 4 years with Pell Grants. I mean, they're walking around campus with pockets full of money. All these books are paid for. Their housing is paid for. Cafeteria is paid for, and they have spending money.
Well, housing isn't paid for, especially like the black union. I don't know what that is, but if you're in like a sorority or a fraternity, you have to pay dues. Even if you live on campus, you have to pay your rent basically to the school. That's not free, and your books cost hundreds of dollars, and then you can sell them back
No,
for nickels.
these kids don't pay for that stuff. These kids, these black kids, they don't pay for that stuff. If they apply to Oklahoma State and they get in, they're not paying for anything.
All of them?
Idaho.
Yeah, I mean, unless they don't get a scholarship, if financial aid and scholarships, these kids
Yeah.
are dying for anything.
I mean, I had financial aid.
Okay, let's move along, man.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Sense of community.
Brought a whole group together, and I'm happy to call people in this BSU my family.
In Louisville, Alexis Matthews, WOKY News.
JC.
I'm curious about like the segregation. Why is it a black union? And they fought so hard to just be part of the nation, and then they still separate. I don't understand that.
But they're not that into you, man.
Parents of a UK student who died while pledging a fraternity are urging lawmakers to pass tougher hazing laws.
WLKY's Lauren Adams spoke to the parents of Lofton Hazelwood after their emotional testimony in Frankfurt.
The boy's mother testified here for only a few minutes, but her remarks were so powerful that some were brought to tears.
We beg of you to pass this law because we don't want anybody to go through what we went through. I want everybody to think about being 3 hours away and you get that phone call.
Tracy Hazelwood described to lawmakers the moment she received a call that changed everything. Her son Lofton was found unresponsive at a University of Kentucky fraternity in October 2021 after being forced to drink shot after shot of bourbon.
I mean, we just jumped in the car and started going in. We live in Henderson County, and before we got to Owensboro, the doctor called and told us to pull over on the side of the road.
Tracy and Kirk Hazelwood's 18-year-old son Lofton died that day.
I was mad, and I was mad at God. I was mad at everybody.
It's why the Hazelwoods are pushing for change. Senate Bill 9, known as Lofton's Law, would make hazing that causes injury or death a felony with jail time. State Senator Robbie Mills from Henderson has spent months working to get the bill passed.
This puts something on people's records that engage in hazing. It's a permanent thing, and it speaks to the importance of what we think, how important it is to stop hazing.
Senate Bill 9 cleared committee Thursday.
It was awesome. Feels good for Lofton.
The couple's mission is simple. They don't want their son forgotten or for another family to get a call like they did.
People say, you're so strong. I'm not. But you know what? When you're a mama, you do what you got to do.
In Frankfurt, Lauren Adams,
Okay, so one white kid drinks himself to death and they get a law passed. How's that not equal to getting grants?
Well, I mean, you're assuming that the law is passed because this one white kid died, and not the preponderance of kids that have died of that.
They probably
It's
have
named
hundreds
after
of
him.
examples. They probably have
Oh, yeah,
hundreds
yeah,
of
there
examples
is.
of this. But
Oh yeah, they don't haze
They
anymore at all
use-
in college. It's a big deal.
It's like Megan's Law. It's like
Yeah,
Amber's what is Amber called?
Amber Alerts.
Amber Alerts. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like
it generally takes a sob story from a white person in order to get the legislation pushed forward, because they're not going to give up on it. They're going to keep on
or
pushing.
the Tyree law they're passing now, or the George Floyd Act, or like this whole thing that like it takes some white person for a law to get passed. Where have you been? Have you been in the coma for the last 20 years?
No, I'm talking about when it's not some anti-police thing. It
Trayvon's
takes
law. Like the whole system is Trayvon's law. You can't fucking suspend a black kid out of school now. There's no kids left behind. They could have named that Jamarquavius's law. You can't fucking you can't fucking get bail to a son man in a big city. There's no cash bail in any of these big cities. That could be fucking Trentavius's law. I mean, what the fuck are you talking about, man?
I love how the white people fight for the people killed, dangerous, just negligently, while the black people fight for the people killed by police or, the perceived racism.
Well, that is racism if you beat somebody to death or choke them to death in
Why
the
is it
street.
racist if you beat somebody to death?
Well, I think the police kind of have a hard job because, first of all, it probably is more like it probably does occur more that they, after being on the job for a while, that they are having to deal with black people being more violent or being more sketchy.
But no, why is it if me and you get into a fight and you win the fight
Yeah.
and I die, why does that make you racist?
It doesn't unless I'm doing it for a racist reason. But why are black people biologically more violent?
No.
Or is it something psychological or so?
That's my question. If we get into a fight,
Yeah.
and you win and I die,
Yeah.
how does that make you racist?
It doesn't. But if you are so like insecure and scared of a black man that you have to put your knee on the back of his neck because you're terrified of him getting up and doing anything, then that's racist.
You talking about George Floyd?
I'm talking about anybody.
So you're saying, let me just move along, man.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Let me move on.
4 men are charged in connection to a shooting in Louisville's Algonquin neighborhood. The men were arrested for assault, fleeing police, and other counts. According to court records, the men...
What race do you think these guys are?
With the cops? I'm sorry. What do you mean?
And were caught on. 4 men are charged in connection to a shooting in Louisville's Algonquin neighborhood. The men were arrested for assault, fleeing police, and other counts. According to court records, the men were...
Who do you think?
That's not a white crime. I agree.
You say this is, hold on. You're saying that shooting in an apartment complex is not a white crime.
White people don't tend to do that. Yeah. Not 4 of them at a time.
But what about poor white people?
Poor white people tend toward different kinds of crime mostly, I guess. But it's still poor people or people who came from poverty. Rich people don't do this shit. When was the last time a Rothschild got in trouble for any of this?
But a Rothschild is not like rich. That's like, you're talking about like barons.
The rich people pay their way out of the trouble. They still get in trouble. They just pay their way out of it. Poor people just, they may do drugs and they get in trouble for the drugs and they do their time and they go on.
Well, if rich people pay their, first of all, rich people are a smaller subset than poor people.
Yes.
So to compare the rich people in prison to the poor people in prison is like comparing 7-footers to 5-footers. There's more people on the planet that are 5 feet than are 7 feet. So if you're gonna if you go to a prison and you're like, hey man, where's all the 7-footers at? Like, that's not really fair to do that, because there's such a small group of people. The rich people in this country are less than 1%. They're less than 1% of the population.
But some people are only like 12 or 13.
Right, but you said this is a son crime, right?
Most likely, I guess. I mean,
this happens
based on the city and the description so far, yeah, I'd say it probably is.
And this is happening 24/7, 365 all over.
Absolutely. Yeah. Even in my own city, yeah, I see it.
So if this is happening 24/7, 365 all over the country, from coast to coast, from sea to shining sea, and you're saying that this is a son crime?
I'm saying that it's most likely them doing it, yeah. But what's stopping you or me from doing it?
Well, what stopped me from doing it? I'm not mad at anybody.
Me either.
I'm not going to shoot them.
Yeah, because I don't feel like they're oppressing me, or I don't feel like I have to.
So you're saying that these guys, the guys that they shot at, were oppressing them?
No, I don't know. I don't have a clue what it was about, but I'm saying that I'm not mad. Neither are you.
All right, let me move along.
Okay.
Caught on surveillance cameras firing at several people outside the Parkway housing complex. 2 victims were taken to the hospital from that scene. A third showed up at the hospital on his own. Police tell us that they are all expected to survive. The suspects were arrested when they crashed a stolen SUV.
Okay, so these are sons.
Yeah.
SUV at 16th and Algonquin.
Did that look like a guy who came up not having to worry about anything? Not getting the shit kicked out of him?
By who?
By anybody. I mean, does that look like somebody who's never been in a fight? Or never been around drugs or anything untoward? I don't know what I'm allowed to say. I'm not trying to mess up your monetization.
No, I don't know. I'm trying to follow you.
I'm just saying that guy looks like he's been through some shit. That kid doesn't look like he's had an easy life, and he's also young.
Ott goes yellow for monetization whenever he says 3 words on the stream, so it doesn't matter.
All right. Yeah. I'm just I'm fascinated by what you're saying. It's just very it's puzzling and it's fascinating. Like,
I think you guys are interesting too.
Your take on things. It's like the way you think about Black people is very, very funny, man. Because it's like you're caping for them, but you also like don't have a lot of don't have a lot of like faith in them, or like you kind of think that like they're like like not capable.
No, I think they're just as capable as you or I.
You do?
I do, yeah. I think everybody is capable of good and really terrible things given the opportunity.
So then why can't they overcome poverty?
I mean, I fucking can't either. I don't know.
No, I mean, without doing drive-bys.
Well, I don't think that's a result of poverty. I think that's probably just being stupid and violent and a lot of other things. But I don't think that people are shooting other people because they're poor. I think that it's a direct correlation, but it's not the cause. Like, these are things that go hand in hand, but neither is leading the other.
Police markers indicate where shell casings landed on this gas station parking lot. This is the scene of a quadruple shooting. Police say it happened around 11 Wednesday night here on East Fayette Street. They found a 17-year-old boy with multiple gunshot wounds. He was taken to an area hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. 3 other males, ages 16, 21, and 23, made their way to the hospital.
So you having all these teens shooting each other. Like, it's like teens, just bands of teens just rolling around with guns, shooting each other all day, every day.
Yeah.
Every city. Like every city in the Black communities, 24/7, 365, people shooting and killing each other in public.
Yeah.
And that is just because of what?
But it hasn't always been that way, and it's not like that everywhere that Black people exist, so it can't be.
Hold on, man.
On their own.
Man.
Rodney Kelly tells 11 News he arrived here.
It's just strange what you're saying. I ask you something, and then you say something instead of answering the question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Why is it 365, 24/7 in every Black community, no matter the state, no matter the climate, nonstop shooting and killing in public places. Why is that happening?
I don't think that it is. I think that it's happening in predominantly black communities for a multitude of reasons that I don't understand because I'm not black and I've never been. But I mean, why don't you do it? Why doesn't the other guy? Because you're regular people who aren't violent and don't have that predilection. But
I
if
think he needs a knock history lesson.
Ages 16, 21, and 23 made their way to the hospital on their own. Rodney Kelly tells 11 News he arrived here moments after the gunfire ended.
I came out here to get some gas, and there was nobody out here, but I saw shell casings literally littered all across the ground, from the door all the way to the street.
This shooting was next door to where a 13-year-old girl lost her life back in November of last year. Kelsey Washington was shot while trying to raise money for her school dance team.
I've seen people do stuff with the police sitting right here, so you know that's a really hard question to answer.
How do you explain people shooting and robbing with the police sitting right there?
Oh, that's wild. I mean, why isn't he doing it? Why is he talking to the police or the news? Why isn't he part of the crime? Ain't he snitching?
So you're saying that every single black person not being part of it takes the race element out of it?
No, I'm saying that I don't know the explanation or the reasoning, but it can't be something that's like ingrained in a certain race of people if it's not unanimous or if it's not.
So you're saying that if you have the town where there's 200 murders a year and 199 of them are all from one race, that's trumped by the fact that every single person of that race hasn't killed someone that year.
Not at all. No, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me get you some statistics. Philadelphia in 2021 had 562 murders. Their record for the last 20 years or so. Not overall record because there were some bad years in the 1990s. Of those, 80 were son women, black women.
Yeah. That were murdered?
The murder victims.
In one city in 1 year.
One city in 1 year.
Yeah.
And all the other races combined, all demographics were less than that.
Yeah.
The other 460 or so were all black males. And you're telling me there's not an issue with a certain culture?
Culture, yes. Absolutely, without a doubt.
So who makes that culture? Who makes black culture?
I mean, I guess black people do. Right? You guys decide what
Let me move along. Let me
Okay.
move along.
Answer, you know, like what can you do about it? But you know, it's just sad to see.
There was another shooting earlier Wednesday. A 15-year-old girl, a student at Mervo High, was shot on the grounds of the Walter P. Carter Elementary Middle School in North.
Just in this one segment where they're talking about a few days in Baltimore, we've had this girl was killed.
Yeah.
And then another girl. These are just the girls that are being shot in public. Like these girls aren't being shot like in the room with their boyfriend. These
Just
girls
catching
are
a stray, yeah.
shot in public places.
Yeah.
Can you do?
Sometimes they aren't catching a stray. They're the target.
They're murdering the 13-year-old girls on purpose?
Sometimes. But John Dumas says in the U.S. there are more poor white people than black. Yes,
I believe that.
Right. Yeah.
You know, it's just sad.
What's gliders?
There
What
was
are
another
gliders?
shooting earlier Wednesday. A
You're a glider.
15-year-old girl, a student at
does that
Mervo
mean?
High, was shot on the grounds of the Walter P. Carter Elementary Middle School in North Baltimore.
Oh,
Police
like
say someone
caping? Okay.
flagged down officers just after 6 Wednesday evening about a person armed at a nearby school. The call for the shooting came in moments later.
Y'all, this is not the way the world should be.
Look at her with a little African fucking doll. It's white women,
I
man.
agree. That's bullshit. That's embarrassing.
Come on, y'all. Anybody got some fried chicken? Because I got some hot sauce in my purse, and I still can't wait to dig into some fried chicken.
Yes,
Y'all,
she and Hillary Clinton should be shot. But I'm saying, like, generally there's a consensus among people that we all have good in us and we all want the best for each other. It's not. I don't think anybody's born
why you
evil
putting
because.
a value? Why you putting a value on these things?
Okay.
Why black people are more prone to kill than other groups, and it's not just white people. Whether black people are more prone to killing in within the framework of societies than all other groups combined.
Okay.
There doesn't need to be a value put on that, whether it's
Okay.
good or bad. I mean, it's just the way that black people relate to each other. It's just the way that we negotiate status. It's just the way that we behave in societies. Um, it doesn't have to be a good or a bad thing. It just is what it is.
So it's unchangeable.
It seems pretty unchangeable. What do you think? Have you seen it change?
I mean, at like a macro level, I guess not. But I think that given different circumstances and opportunities, like it's not a problem worldwide that black people are just violent maniacs. That's not a thing. Is it?
Okay, where our black people are, and there's not a huge problem with murder.
I would assume on yachts or wherever the fuck rich people go.
All right, let me move along, man.
This is not the way the world should be.
During an event to get rid of vacant houses in Baltimore, a minister prayed for victims of gun violence, their families, and for change.
Kids have access to guns and they shouldn't.
Minister, God, there's so much wrong with that. Doug Chunk says this guy is killing me. There are more gliders living below poverty level in the U.S. than the entire Sun population, and yet nowhere near the body count. Tonic T says, I must live in poverty since I don't own a home. I need to go down the street and rob my local gas stations. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I mean,
That's not how I got mine. I mean, just
salute to Doug Chunk says, dude refuses to acknowledge that there exists a horribly violent subset of Sunmen that commit violent crime for sport. What do you think about that?
because I've known countless white people who do the exact same thing.
Who are killing in the streets?
I've never known a black man who would kill me, but I have known several white men who would have.
So tell us this town where these white guys are just doing drive-bys back and forth against each other, and there's stray bullets hitting people all the time from bullets shot by white guys. And we'll go to that city now. Like we actually want to. We're looking for that. We want to highlight that. So can you help us out?
I mean, Chicago in the 40s, I guess. Yeah, I don't. You're kind of. Your argument keeps reverting back to this macro level of like gang violence. Gang violence among white people happens all the time if you consider Italians to be white, right?
Yeah, but those Italians are killing other gang members.
So yeah, and accidentally, perhaps somebody else gets caught up in the mix, right?
Very rarely. Very
That
rarely.
we assume, or yeah.
It's very rare. Most of those mob hits are very clean. They're very clean, very surgical, clinical.
So is that
The other thing is, every time a white person is the shooter, you hear about it on the national news.
you mean like mass shootings? because white people do it.
Anytime they can blame the white people for the gun violence, they bring it up massively.
Well, because
Maybe
we're the only
not.
ones walking into fucking schools. I mean, the only black mass shooter that I heard of was the guy at the Navy Yard.
You've got to be trolling, man.
No, I'm not at all.
What about the guy? What about the guy
other
at
day.
Arlington that shot three people, including the teacher? That was what?
No, Johnny.
2021.
I don't know about that one.
Johnny. What about the Michigan State shooter from the other day? Johnny's going back to like fucking 3 years and shit. What about the Michigan State shooter from the other day, Johnny? It's very simple. You're making it very, very difficult.
Okay, but that's one instance that I haven't heard about. We can think of 10 where it was a white guy. We all know them. And that's not just because of the news cycle. It's because it's happened. Right?
Okay, let me move along.
Okay.
And don't have the tools that they need to be able to resolve problems without resorting to violence.
And if they have these guns in your house and you don't know, that's on you. We have to be better.
We asked Mayor Brandon Scott about what appears to be a growing youth violence problem.
We have to deal with behavioral and mental health in a different way, not just in Baltimore, not just in Maryland, but across the country.
One more note on that school shooting. Baltimore City Public Schools, a spokesperson for Baltimore City Public Schools, tells us that security has been increased at Walter P. Carter, and they have also offered counseling.
Yeah, what about this school shooting that they covered in this story that just happened?
I don't hear a story. I just hear that it happened. I don't know what happened there. Like some kid shot up his school, I guess. What's the story?
Okay, let me just do this next one.
The bill is about where the case starts. Prosecutors still have the ability to waive a youth to the adult system.
If you believe all children, youth, need care and not cages, say yes. Yes.
It's a radical idea to some. Common.
Look at Baltimore that came out for this. Look who came out to make sure that the kids that are shooting up the fucking streets of Baltimore and terrorizing the streets of Baltimore don't get charged as adults. See that, Johnny? Ain't that crazy? This is who came out for that.
So is it just that white people are soft? To what?
Hold on, let me talk to Johnny, man. You good, man. We you got a lot of airtime, man. We wrapped it up, man.
I'm sorry.
85%. 85% liberal glacier lighter.
Not liberal in the least.
This is who wants black teens that are just, I mean, terrorizing the city to not face consequences.
Not cages, say yes. Yes.
It's a radical idea to some, common sense to others. We're talking about the idea that juvenile criminal cases, no matter how serious the offense, should start in the juvenile system. According to the Baltimore City Public Defender's Office, 87% of juvenile cases either go back to the juvenile system anyway, are dismissed, or the offenders are let go for time served.
It delays treatment, rehabilitation, support, and services.
She wants to make sure that the black teens that are terrorizing the streets of Baltimore don't face any consequences. This woman.
Yeah, that's a bad idea.
And services. This bill does not end the trying of children in adult court. It does not end children going to adult prison.
Bill supporters argue reversing the current process by starting cases in juvenile rather than adult court makes common sense.
Automatically charging children as adults is inhumane and it's barbaric. Maryland insists on sticking to this antiquated view that some children are not children based on an allegation that has not even yet been proven.
Republican legislators oppose the measure.
It's sending the wrong message to juveniles about how they're going to be punished if they commit a crime.
A coalition of faith leaders, former inmates, legislators, and youth advocates disagree. They believe starting a youth case in the juvenile system will have a positive impact on the crime fight.
The more we see our children suffering, the worse our future is going to be.
And when we label our youth as these troubled people that are unable to be able to have a second chance at life, they spend the rest of their life with that label.
This is the 10th year that advocates are brought.
These people.
But if they have 15 arrests in the juvenile system and they're not being helped by the juvenile system, and then they have a violent crime arrest, usually the only time they get charged as adult is when they actually harm someone permanently. They shoot someone, they actually murder someone. That's when they get tried as adults. And they already generally have a violent history already. That's why they get charged as adults.
Absolutely.
And they're trying to fight that.
That's fucking retarded. I agree. That's dumb. But why are these children criminals before they're even 18? Like, what? Where's that coming from?
They enjoy that lifestyle. It comes with a lot of perks. It comes with a lot of perks, and they're surrounded by other people that are like that.
Yes.
Like if you, Baltimore is 65% sun. So unless you're going to take every single black person and move them in his own white neighborhood, like I get a white neighborhood, the next black guy gets a white neighborhood, everybody, and you just keep us separated like that, you're going to have these issues. Anywhere where you have us together in any number, you're going to have the same issue. That's how we operate.
It's like women when their periods sink.
Yeah, we operate. That's how we operate.
They get status in the neighborhood, and they get status in the eyes of the Sun women as well by committing the crimes and, bragging about them and not caring about the crimes.
Adol says your guest must not believe black folks have agency. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he doesn't believe that black folks have agency.
What the fuck does that mean?
You don't believe?
Why
that
wouldn't
black
they have
people
agency? Of course they do. We all do. That's the point. Is that
But do you understand how it seems like you don't feel that way? Like I don't think a person who thinks that you don't think black people have agency, I'm shocked by your response to that. You act like it's absurd. After you talked for like an hour, it seems more than fucking clear that you don't think black people have agency. Like,
why?
It's basically been the fucking synopsis of what you've been talking about for the last hour. That black people don't have agency. And then you hear somebody say it and you fucking act like you fucking shocked and shit. The freshman says you just need to look at the stats, which speak for itself. Everyone has an agenda, but stats are impartial. Let's see. Who's this? Rebel? Rebel, who are you, Rebel?
I've been watching for a while, buddy.
Okay, where you from?
I'm from Henderson, Nevada, right outside Las Vegas.
Okay, now our guy right here, I think this is Brandon. What do you think about what Brandon's been talking about for the last little while? If you've been
I think he's been watching MSNBC, bro. That's it. Like just the other day, we had a mass shooting with the black dude from the college, the MSU college. We had Waukesha, where dude just ran down people during the white people during a parade just to do it.
Police markers indicate where shell.
Go ahead.
I mean, there's been constantly like black people doing mass shootings, but it's not put on MSNBC all day. They only really want to show one race, and they have one, narrative they want to show. And that's basically it.
Do you have a city? Do you have a city you would like us to go to, man, so we can see if you're in Henderson, right?
I live in a really nice area. to be
No,
honest.
no. But what's the city out there? Henderson, is Henderson the city?
Yeah,
What's
Henderson's the city.
Henderson?
He said it's a suburb of Las Vegas.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Las Vegas. Yeah, that's the town, man. All right.
The worst thing I've seen recently is in Northtown, these two drunk ladies, the mother and her daughter. So grandma and mother, they get in the car drunk as fuck or drunk as crap on a vodka or tequila or whatever, end up getting a car accident, decapitate one of the kids, and they didn't even get any like charges or none of that.
And these are black people or Indians or what are these?
Oh, of
White people?
course.
Wow. Let's see, Nevada, man.
Write down what unfolded during the 22-year-old man beaten to death outside of 7-Eleven store in Henderson. Police were there speaking.
Uh-oh.
A 62-year-old man beaten to death outside of 7-Eleven store in Henderson. Police were there speaking with the victim just minutes before he was killed. He said he had been attacked by strangers. Henderson police announcing a third arrest in the case today. Stephon Epps, Floyd Epps, and Andre Harris, they were all arrested in connection with that beating death. Kim Passoff is live tonight outside that store on Boulder Highway to break down what unfolded during the attack.
So it was Friday night around 10 p.m. when police were first called to the 7-Eleven store. 62-year-old Richard Delgado told them that he had been hit by three men with a pipe. When police arrived at the 7-Eleven store, the victim stated the three strangers who attacked him accused him of stealing jewelry from someone in their family, saying, quote, "They better get the necklace back." The 62-year-old had only minor injuries, according to a police report. Henderson police and fire only observed a cut in Richard's knee, so they took a report and left. But minutes later, the clerk at the 7-Eleven called 911 to report Delgado had been attacked again by the three men and was left.
I mean, does that sound like agency to you, Brandon? Is that enough agency for you?
Just so you guys know, Boulder Highway is like the track. That's where all the drug dealers and all the prostitutes are at. Like that's the ghetto of the ghetto right there. That and Fremont.
Now, wait a
Las
minute. That
Vegas.
sounds like a place where poverty is prominent,
Yeah.
where people don't have a lot of options and are addicted to drugs and selling sex. Of course, they have agency, but they don't have a lot of otherwise opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, though, there's so many trailer parks right there just filled with white people, and they're not the random video that was clicked on. You know,
Las Vegas is 12%. Henderson is 5.6%.
Yeah. Rune Armisen says, show the damn mass shooter photos. Massive sun representation. Yeah, that's a little too easy, man. This guy's fascinating. It's not, just want to blow him out of the water, man. He's and then even with that, there's still a way to explain that away. So like, just because you think that you've got this piece of evidence that it seems like it's foolproof, with people who think like this, there's really nothing you can say.
Lying on the ground outside of the business's doors, bleeding. The suspects fleeing in a vehicle with California plates. The 62-year-old was rushed to Sunrise Hospital, where he died. Officers obtained the store's surveillance video, the crime captured on camera. They report when the victim pulled out a knife to defend himself, one of the attackers threw a rock at him, striking him in the back, and then tackled him to the ground near the front doors. Then they struggled over the knife. The victim was then stabbed, stomped on, and kicked in the head.
What was you said?
So it ends.
Spears and rocks, right?
Yeah, I mean, the police show up, guys come back and kick it, and finish him off after the police leave. I mean, it's
hey, did you ever show the video of the Las Vegas police officer being shot? It's like all on body cam.
No,
Officer Ty.
It happened recently?
Yeah, within the last month or so. Officer Ty.
No. We may get to that another time. I'm not showing any cops dying. Yeah, we about to get out of here soon. Maybe
Now to an attempted catalytic converter theft in California that left an alleged thief dead. Authorities say the woman behind the wheel had fallen asleep in her parked truck in Palmdale when she heard some sawing underneath. That is when she told investigators that she turned her truck on, backed out of that space, and unknowingly ran over the thief. The suspect was taken to the hospital where he died. Deputies say 3 other suspects, a man and 2 women, were in a car parked next to the truck. They were arrested. Police departments across the nation are reminding drivers to park in well-lit areas and have their catalytic converter welded to the car's frame.
Wow.
That's what.
Wow. That was on Brito. I'm sure that was on Brito. Oh, look what we got, man. White guy, man, stealing, man. Here we go.
Detail finding in this man, they say he's been targeting a bunch of hardware stores across the valley over the past month. Unclear where specifically he was targeting, but his thefts total apparently more than $6,000 and pretty clear shots of him there. So if you can help police find him, 702-385-5555.
Can I make a suggestion?
Go ahead, man.
Look up the Stanford prison experiment.
We're gonna have to do that another day, but
okay,
we'll try that another day. But come back, man. When we got a better panel, man, because you're fascinating, man, to hear you talk, man. Doug Chunk says he's got a dual case of white guilt and criminal guilt. Everything can be excused by poverty. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Doug. This guy's fascinating, man. It's just a very like you're like a kaleidoscope of a Pandora's box inside of a kaleidoscope inside of a you know what I'm saying, inside of a Rubik's cube. I don't think that any of the normal things would work. I would have done it. I would have gone to the gun memorial. I would have gone to the mass shooter memorial. But I don't think that. I think you where your brain is at, it would take more of like you'd have to come in at the beginning of a normal show. This was not a normal show. This was more of like a, just a. You'd have to come at the beginning of a show where we just go around the country, so you could just see like how every single place this stuff is happening, and the same stories in every single city from the same group of people, and everyone's got on $300 pairs of tennis shoes. Everybody's riding around in Benzes. Everybody's got on $200 belts. Everybody has no bills. Everybody gets back $10,000 at tax time. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody just got a PPP loan for $100,000 forgiven maybe 2 years ago. Everybody's just like, you know what I'm saying, living really, really good.
Even Bogalusa, Louisiana, small town, 5,000 people. It's kind of out of control.
Yeah, everybody's living really, really good, and you would say that they're all poor.
No, I would say that they are all people.
Okay, man. On that note, man, I'm getting out of here, man. Peace out. See you guys tomorrow, man. Peace out.
Thank you.
Hi, Doc.